It's another Thursday, which means another episode of Docking Bay 94.
Yeah.
And beatboxing by Jeff, because he's back in the studio.
Hey!
It's always a good sign. Except,
Could actually hear it.
I still don't have Jeff turned on.
Really? I could hear it in the mic. So.
No, I'm not talking about the audio. I don't have your picture.
Oh, I'm not in the picture.
Turned on.
Whatever.
Can't see your pretty face.
I don't know where.
What's this not
I
loading?
don't know where your picture is. That's weird. You're just broken, Jeff.
That figures.
All broken. Nope. We'll have to figure it out. Anyway, I'm Sean Crosby.
This is Jeff, almost here at Donahoe.
I'm calling Kaylee Crosby.
And Josh.
Yep. We also have
Josh Flybuckatelli.
That's it. He's joined us. He's hanging out over by Jeff.
Yeah.
I don't know why Jeff's
I am the dark screen.
camera is not coming in here.
I don't. Do I have a microphone?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't hear me.
Well, talk
Oh, it
about
might be plugged in.
I will talk louder.
Oh, there you go.
I think my headphones are dying. I only have sound in one side.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
We did all of that juggling around with headphone cables earlier. So
It was
Could be.
before that.
that's weird. Yeah, I don't know where Jeff's camera went.
I know it's lit up. I can see that.
It is lit up, but I think I just have to like rebuild you into the build here. I think whatever happened is crazy.
Do you need to talk about anything, Sean, before we start
I don't think it's going to YouTube.
delving into the week? Because we can start talking about that while you...
Yeah, well, I should let you guys know that if you're listening to us, you are doing so over on sci-fi.radio. It is sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. Thanks for listening over there. You could be watching us on Twitch at DB94, on YouTube at DB94, or even my personal Facebook page, which is not DB94, but you can see us there anyway.
I don't think we're on YouTube. I'm trying to find it.
Oh, well, that's rude. Anyway, I'll have to check out. We're a little scrambled. Josh is here, and that has scrambled us a little bit. So
it's all your fault, man.
We're
sorry.
Like we went out to dinner, and dinner
sort of
Sorry.
took like 40 minutes. It was
That
crazy.
was my fault.
We got back here at a quarter till, and that usually we're in here like doing all our stuff at about 6 o'clock. So we were like way behind. But I don't know where
It says
Jeff
live
is.
now. That's weird.
I'm trying to
Okay,
find
there
him.
it is. Oh, it's just it is on YouTube. It's just showing the wrong date or something. But yeah, it's on there. Okay, we're good.
What?
It is on
Whatever.
YouTube.
If it's the wrong date, I probably screwed it up.
Yeah, no
Because,
biggie.
like I said, very frazzled today.
Okay,
that's
that was
why
confusing
I
me.
didn't notice that Jeff was missing. I'm just gonna have to delete you, I guess.
And start over.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about the weekend, which I don't have a lot to talk about because I baked a nectarine crisp. That was like the highlight of my weekend.
Wow.
It was-
That sounds good.
I didn't do a whole lot. Jeff, however, had an exciting Thursday and an exciting Friday at least. So why don't you talk about those?
I was busy.
Tell us about the Boogie Bash.
Boogie Bash was pretty neat. I mean, the COVID stuff was in place, but the most that was being recognized is when you went inside a building. You know, they wanted you to have a mask on. Other than that, it was just masks everywhere. The characters, though, were always like out of the reach, so you couldn't like get up next to them because of COVID.
Huh.
But it was pretty neat. They had like the trick or treat trails, I guess you would call is what they're called. But and you would go off, and if you wanted to get whatever they had, they didn't just have candy. They had other stuff like carrots and stuff and grapes. But
So did you get a lot of candy or grapes or carrots?
I got a little. I think the kids got a lot. You know, so.
What was your favorite part of the Boogie Bash?
I really liked what they did with the Wilderness Explorer Trail, whatever it's called.
Uh-huh.
That's over across from the Bear
From the-
Rapids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did they do there?
They themed the area. There weren't really any characters in there, but they themed it as villains.
Oh.
So there were different things that were like atmosphere
Uh-huh.
type such. So except for a few spots where they would have like maybe a projection of something that had to do with the villain.
Uh-huh.
But otherwise it was like, the sound and fog machines and lasers and whatnot. But what they did, it really, it really had that essence of like something that you would see at like maybe not Scary Farm, but not scary.
Yeah.
But
Just Halloween fun
yeah.
villain stuff.
Yeah, so
I
that's
like
really
the
cool.
idea of them putting it over there on that trail because it makes it seem spookier.
Yeah, it is, and there's a lot of they have fog machines going the whole time and stuff. But
And was the whole park open, or was it just select areas?
it was the entire park as far as I know. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I mean, we went all over, but that was really cool. And then I had one interaction with a villain.
Mm-hmm.
and Rosella got it on tape. She recorded it briefly. But at Toy Story Mania, they had Sid, the the guy.
Right.
And he's obviously 19 or 20, but but he did a pretty good job in his because he was completely ad-libbing. And then I walked
And then
up.
you were dressed as.
I was dressed as Woody.
Uh-huh.
It was sort of like in between the toy and a real life Woody would look like, somewhere in between, like what would he look like in the Old West, kind of in between those. But I got up there, he was standing out in front, so he just watched people go by in the line and stuff, and I see him, and he finally saw me, and he's like, yells, "Why are you dressed like my neighbor?"
That's fun.
And I was just looking at him, and I actually, I'm like,
He actually legitimately looked pretty good as Sid. I mean, he was obviously too big and old.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he had that punchable bully face.
Yeah.
He actually looked very much like a guy that should have worked for Sid.
He did really good, playing the character. The parade was pretty cool. They had a Halloween parade that went, Boogie Bash parade, and you could see a lot of the villains and whatnot going past. It was pretty neat.
That's neat. And they had the Headless Horseman.
Yes, that leads it. Basically, starts off the parade.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was pretty nice. And then and actually the other highlight is something that you can do any day, but I finally got to do it. I got to go to the Spider-Man ride.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
we haven't done that yet.
Web slingers.
In fact, we haven't seen Avengers Campus yet at all.
Oh, okay.
Neither of us did. I was encouraged to go on Monday, but I was very focused.
Yeah. I want to go. I would like to go back just so we can look around more, because we were just kind of going through it and stuff. But
I was reluctant to do it without Colleen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Avengers Campus.
Yeah.
Oh.
And unfortunately, I did not get to see the Spider-Man bot flying. When you're walking through the campus, you can see him swooping, or whatever. From
they
Sean, you have my permission to go to Avengers Campus since Sean has a passport.
Yeah.
And I am going to get a passport, but I will probably not use it until the middle of November.
Yeah.
For Life Day.
So.
Yeah.
And Avengers Campus, it has the same problem that Galaxy's Edge had for a while, where for a while it was one ride,
a bunch of stores,
and there's a restaurant and some stores, and then and a show, which Galaxy's Edge really doesn't have a show, but it's basically the Doctor Strange show or whatever. I guess he stands on a stage and does whatever, but that wasn't going at the time we were there. It was Agnes was there in his place.
Neat.
Yeah.
We also have the Dora Milaje show, which I'm sure probably wasn't going.
No, I didn't see that either. Yeah.
They have a few different shows that happen during campus.
So we should, everybody on Twitch and Facebook are asking, who's the other guy? So this is Josh.
Yep.
Hi, everyone.
Repeat what your Josh
Flyboy
Critelli. He's joined us today. So.
And Josh is legitimately a flyboy. I
Yeah.
think you haven't been on the show in a very long time, but you have done it once.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in the intervening time, you got your pilot's license.
Oh, you can see me. Hi,
See?
everyone.
Yeah.
You're there.
Well,
Yeah.
so
I set the other thing up.
I don't hold the certificate yet. I'm like at the very end of the training. I've been off and on for several years getting this license because I pay for it myself. I'm not doing it for a job or anything. It's just for me. So when I can afford it, I go and take my flights. I'm at the very tail end of what I'm supposed to do to get the license. I've done the solos. I've done the cross countries. It just needed to clean up it. But right when I was about to finish everything is when I got this job offer in Irvine. And then I came back out here, and it was, okay, move back to where I wanted to move back and get everything started for where I want to live.
And you came from Maryland. You were in...
I was in Pennsylvania. My
Sean,
job was in Maryland.
Can you turn up the volume on your microphone? Because people are complaining that they can't hear you.
See, that's really weird, because I feel like I'm very loud.
I can hear you, but
sure, I can turn it, like, way up, and I can totally...
Ah!
yeah, then we'll have to all stop with our headphones.
You don't know the power of the microphone. Yeah, no worries.
Laura, you're not gonna be able to hear Josh super well. So, sorry.
Yeah,
Laura.
Josh and Jeff are sharing a mic. Josh stopped by to say hi. We invited him to stay for the show, but he doesn't have his own mic. And
I'll try my best.
Yeah, we're not as set up for visitors as we used to be.
right. We're not. The microphone
My
is like
fault.
way over here. And I can't.
We'll fix it sooner or later.
Quite.
Yeah.
Yeah. No big deal.
We'll get there. Anyway, so let's go back. We heard who Josh is, and so let's go back to Jeff. And anything else on Oogie Boogie Bash? Do you want to move on to the rest of your?
I actually got to go partially into Carthay Circle.
Oh.
But I didn't get anything to eat. I was looking for something different. They didn't really have what I wanted, but I got like a beer, or it was a.
Did you guys just go into the bar?
It was a pear something.
Pear cider.
Yeah.
Did you just go into the bar, not the restaurant?
Well, sort of. We walked in and they were taking walk-ins because they were going to be closing, because of Boogie Bash.
Mm-hmm.
And so we walked in and they had seats right outside on the little
the patio
area. Yeah. I can't find.
Are they open on the inside yet, or are they just doing?
I think so. Yeah, I think they were,
Okay.
but I don't think they didn't really have anything like available that we could go to. So like, and we sat out there, but it was like my first time, at least for that part. I wanted.
Well, that's cool.
I want to eat inside sometime, but at
I've
least I
eaten
got to
there
do
once.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I ate there with Audrey when we went,
Cool.
and Jessica.
Okay.
Jessica, who just got a whole bunch of her degrees.
Yes.
Jessica just got a whole bunch of degrees. I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was studying community college or something. Sorry, my headphones fell apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was taking some classes at community college, and she is now got 3 degrees on one day.
Wow.
Gotcha.
So I have to interrupt for a second and say that one of the reasons why we're so late is that I decided to go to an acai bowl place instead of going to the Taco Bell KFC place, and it took a really long time, and it was really good. I very much enjoyed the acai bowl, but the number of seeds in this thing, like there are seeds in the blackberries and seeds in the acai and
that
seeds.
Was my experience. Is it was like everything was like super gritty, crunchy.
I am just like, well, I loved it while I was eating it, but now I'm like, seeds. I've got seeds everywhere.
The whole plant.
So if you see me with a funny look on my face, it's because I've got seeds that came with my dinner. But
Gotcha.
that was quite good, sustainable.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So
Jeff was saying that he got to go to Carthay Circle and have a pear cider.
Yeah.
And we should plan a trip where we go to maybe like in the spring.
Okay.
And we'll all go to Carthay Circle.
Yeah.
And then we'll report on it for the show.
Well, we report on everything. For the show if we can help
Right.
it.
Yeah.
It's
What about the next day when you went back for your birthday?
Oh yeah. So we went for my birthday. We went to Disneyland, and so the one thing that I've been trying to do, and I haven't been able to, I finally got to go on Rise of the Resistance.
Finally.
First time?
Yeah.
And it was super stressful getting the stupid
Yeah.
reservation
It was
too.
because their system was all wonked out.
I got a reservation for Rise of the Resistance before I left the house to go meet Jeff that morning.
Yeah.
We got boarding group 83. And I thought, great, that's not awful. It's not like 200 and
Yeah.
something. Let's go. I took a screenshot. I sent it to Jeff. I'm like, tell everybody we're in.
Yeah.
And then we walked into the park, and it vanished.
Yeah.
Because everybody else, they're like, hey, I can't get in. And it's like, yeah, that's because we already have a reservation. We're covered. And then we all walked in, and nobody could see it on their accounts.
Yeah.
It, just went away.
Disappeared. That's
And
horrible.
I had
Exactly.
to, completely
This way.
Ferris Bueller our way back into the lineup.
Now, how do you guys, how is the hearing of Shawn going, except for that last little bit?
Plenty loud.
Somebody said that Dawn says that you sound like you're in a tunnel,
I
Oh,
sound
really?
like I'm in
Wow.
a tunnel.
which is weird because he sounds normal here.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm...
I mean, earlier.
And then someone else says, Wildcard9 says, it almost sounds like Shawn is being picked up by the webcam mic instead of the headset.
Oh, weird.
That is
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can double check
Yeah.
that. First things, I'm going to turn off my mic. There, my mic is turned off. Now you guys shouldn't really hear me very much at all.
Yeah, can you guys hear him out there right now? He's talking without his mic turned
But
on.
if you can hear me, maybe I'm getting picked up by both microphones
back
or
on?
something. Now it's back on. Yeah, I'll keep playing with it. Something wacky is going on.
Yeah.
But Josh, we should be able to hear Josh now.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me well?
No,
No,
No.
actually,
No, not at all.
not at all.
Hold on.
Laura
Doesn't work
says
at
you're
all.
coming in fine on
How about now, Josh?
on
How are we
Sci-Fi
doing?
Radio.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
heard you that
Are
time.
we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
But there you go.
Okay, sing
Oh,
this
man. When we started, Kit was saying it was sounded mono, so I don't know if it's gotten better or not.
It sounded
Laura
Well,
said Josh sounds like a Force ghost.
We
I don't know what that
I'll
means.
take that.
We are in fact mono. You shouldn't be hearing really anything in stereo.
And Michael Cravens and Don Coulter both say you sound the same, Shawn.
Okay, well,
Oh, hey, there we go.
whatever.
But it's funny because I feel like it has something, like it's not our equipment, because Laura says you sound fine on Sci-Fi Radio.
Right.
And on Facebook and on Twitch, you're coming in like a tunnel.
Nice.
I
So
came in like a wrecking ball. No, sorry. Okay, well, it is what it is.
yeah.
I can always switch to a different microphone, I guess. But
Yeah.
for now,
So
So
I'm
Rise of the
just-
Resistance.
that was funny. That was the segue and a half. Yeah. What's going on? I think her mic, thing's getting friendly.
Right, it was.
So went on the Rise of Resistance, and I don't know what to say about it. I liked it, but I probably need to go a second time so I can actually process everything, because there's a lot, and plus the line itself, the actual queue area, we were like booking it because they're like, okay, go. I'm like, and so I like couldn't see.
You didn't get to see it? Yeah.
Didn't see squat. I'm like, oh, look at blurs. Excess,
That happened to us too.
Yeah.
When we went on
So, but yeah, I did like the ride. It was pretty fun. The whole the part where like
it. Josh, you need to move that way.
yeah, the part where it sort of drops. And for those people that I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a part of the ride when you get on it and there's a drop, and like and they're like, I didn't expect that. I'm like going, I saw where it's going to clip the car, so I kind of did. But
Okay. You mean the part where the brakes just grabbed onto the car?
you go
and-
click.
Right.
We're going
it's like,
to have
we're obviously going to move
Yes.
because they just went.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's really funny.
it was really cool, and I was surprised at the amount of the amount of not just projections. They actually had a lot of animatronics and whatnot too, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad for that because like I found that they've run into that sort of crutch with some of the trackless rides where it's mainly moving you from one screen to another.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that this didn't have
Like
just that.
at Universal Studios.
What was it going to name names?
Love it.
Trap ride. So yeah, but that was really fun. And then like one of the resistance area that's right next to the entry and exit of the ride.
The resistance base.
Yeah. They actually had a Han Solo's vest from Return of the Jedi there, because he still has the vest,
Right.
even though he has a goofy looking
At one of the
camouflage
sale
trench
kiosks,
coaty
it
thing.
wasn't
Yeah.
just like laying on the cement.
Yeah,
there.
look at cool. No. It was like $50, but and then discounted because of Shawn. But so I was shocked because I have not seen that vest for sale anywhere unless it's $300 or something from anybody.
It's pretty new,
Yeah.
and it's nice. It
Yeah.
was lined.
And it
It
looks
fit you
like
well.
it, and it looks like it. I don't know exactly how accurate, but I don't care because
The Han Solo vest, right?
yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
I was just there last week,
Yeah.
and one of our guys in the group was getting that vest because he said it just minus those loops in the back, they just need to be a little bit higher. But he said it's very accurate, and he's
Yeah.
using it for that. He's just gonna move the loops
Yeah.
up.
They and it's perfect because there's no big pouch in the back because it's not supposed to be and everything. So I'm all right, got it. But
Yeah, it looked really
Yeah.
good.
and then other than that, I think we just went around and went on a bunch of rides that that I hadn't been on that had been altered in some way since COVID and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So one of those was Snow White. But yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. And
the new
Wait.
Snow White ride is weird.
yeah. They changed.
Didn't-
They changed.
We
it.
did. You and I went on it. Colin.
Yeah.
Right. With Blake and Jennifer. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been on it.
I don't remember what the other ones were though. I mean, obviously Haunted Mansion because that's just got the
Right.
overlay.
It's the 20th year
Yeah.
of the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay,
Yeah.
or the Haunted Mansion Holiday is officially what it's called.
Yeah.
So they actually had a wreath out in the line when you first walk into the line to go up to where the hearse is. There was
Yeah.
a wreath there that was acknowledging the 20th
Yeah.
year, which their gingerbread house did also. So
Gosh,
it's
yeah.
the 20th giant gingerbread house that they have put inside the ballroom of the
Yeah.
Haunted Mansion. They incorporated elements of the other 19 years
Yes.
into the house. So there was like one element from all of those.
Very cool. Yeah. We also went on the Jungle Cruise because that's had updates. So, and it's not like I won't spoil it for people, but for me, Jungle Cruise didn't seem like what they took away from the ride.
I think it was
You
just
know?
fine.
Yeah.
I think it was just fine.
Yeah,
You
and what
had
they added more to it. So,
yeah, they added some stuff that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
We were waiting in line to get in, and I
Yeah.
was looking for a skipper that we knew.
Yeah.
And so we got on the boat and we're riding around, and our skipper was on. He was
Yeah.
like, he had dialed it up to 11, and I'm like, okay, there's a VIP on the boat or something, because
Yep.
he was doing weird stuff where there's now a sunken boat that has, what did it have, like an ape in the middle of the sunken boat, and he was adding dialogue to the sunken ape, which was actually dialogue from Blade Runner. It was
Yeah.
like Rutger Hauer's speech at the end, the Tears in the
Yeah.
Rain speech, and he's making the ape say this Tears in the Rain. He was like completely geeking out. And I'm looking around, and the guy that he's geeking out for is our skipper friend that I
Yeah.
was looking for to see if he was working. This is Eddie, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man,
Yeah.
And so we got off the boat, and Eddie's like, of course you're on my boat. That was very fun.
And as we were getting off the boat, I saw Skipper Carl, which one of the guys,
Carl.
someone I used to work with in wardrobe, and he transferred over.
Wow.
So,
Well, he's been
yeah.
working there for a while then.
Yeah, and he was obviously before I started working, he was working there, but he's really funny. But I mean, but he wasn't driving the boats today.
And he wasn't
that day.
Maynard funny, you know.
No. But no, Carl's really good, and so next time we go, I'm going to see if he's doing it again, which would be tomorrow night, and then hopefully he's still there. Go on in and find him. I'm not sure what else we did really. Like just a lot of that, and then yeah.
All right, cool. So, and then you had more on here. And then Saturday you had a birthday dinner.
Yes. So much to do. Yeah, it was just basically family came over and we had actually they came over and to say hi, and then they had left. I don't think Owen stayed for the dinner.
Oh.
But they came over and dropped presents off or something and left, and then and the dinner was good and such. So we had some dessert left over from the other. So yeah.
Cool. And then I think you've got one more thing.
Yeah.
Skull Quest. What is that?
I was looking for something for Abria, because I really, there wasn't much that I had, and I was looking for something that would be really cool for her.
Mm-hmm.
And Rosella was the one who actually told me about something she really wanted, and so I was looking. I went to I don't know, 3 or 4 different Rosses, because this is where it was, and a few other stores, and could not find it, and then finally found it, the very last one. I'm like, if it's not here, I'm giving up. And it was there, and it was like a skull. It was like a skull planter. Yeah, so you can put a little plant in the top. But yeah, that was at Ross.
And it's her birthday today?
On the 14th.
The 14th,
Yeah.
okay. And see, the problem with your family, Jeff, is everybody's got a bunch of birthdays jammed together right now.
Yeah.
It's Owen, and it's you, and it's Abria, and it's I can't keep them straight.
Yeah.
But you guys are now allowed to make fun of Jeff. He hit 50. He's half a century, so.
We weren't allowed to make fun of Jeff before?
Well, now you can make fun of him in a different way.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So nothing new. So yeah.
Shawn, what about you?
Well, I had fun at Disneyland on Friday, which was pretty great. And then I went back on Monday. And so if you have somehow missed the show in the past 6 or 7 weeks, I've had a kidney stone that I've been trying to get rid of. And it just won't move. It doesn't seem to be doing much of anything. And so there's a study that somebody did that said if you go on, and they did this at Walt Disney World, they didn't do it at Disneyland, but if you go on the Big Thunder Mountain, which is in Walt Disney World, it's a mirror copy of the one that we have at Disneyland. It's opposite of the one that we have here. If you go on that, you have a very high likelihood of shaking out your kidney stones. And to prove this, they 3D printed a kidney, they put real kidney stones in it, they filled it with fluid, and they went on the ride, and a whole bunch of different rides. And so that Big Thunder was the winner. It shook out 3 different kidney stones. And so I'm like, this is an idea. I've been waiting for my doctor to get back to me. I've got the Magic Key pass. I can go to Disneyland. Let's see what I can do. And so my thought, since our Big Thunder Mountain is closed right now for renovations, my thought was the absolute worst ride to go on at Disneyland. It's like the most abusive ride to ride is the Matterhorn.
Yeah.
And so the Matterhorn is really super rough. It's like being strapped into a Jeep and then rolling down a cliff. I mean, it's really just that kind of a beat-up ride.
Yeah.
And I haven't been on it in forever. And I thought, well, okay, this will be fun. Let's go do some Matterhorn ride. And so I discovered that they had a single rider line, which was amazing. I didn't know it was there at all. And so I completely abused the single rider line. And so now I've become like this expert on the Matterhorn because I rode it for hours, like 5 hours I spent on the mountain.
Yeesh.
And so I figured out with all the track and stuff that I went through that it was enough to go up the mountain 4 times, down the mountain 4 times, and halfway up again. The real Matterhorn, not Disney's. Disney's is 147 feet tall. The real Matterhorn is 14,700 feet tall.
Yeah.
So it was really kind of interesting. I rode the right half, which is considered the Fantasyland half. I rode that 30 times, and I did the Tomorrowland side, the left-hand side, 30 times, and compared the two. I timed them out. The right-hand side's 2 minutes 30, the left-hand side's 2 minutes 10. Figured out all the finer points and what curve is likely to give you whiplash and all that kind of thing. Talked to a lot of people in line. The cast members really got behind me. They're like, "How many is this?" And they're like helping me keep track, which was really fun. And they change positions maybe every
15 minutes.
Yeah, 15 minutes, I think, except the people who are handing out the single rider tickets. And so the people doing the single rider would go, "Okay, here's your ticket," and you go and you come back 3 or 4 times, and they're starting to go "Okay, here's your ticket," and you keep going through, and they're like, why are you doing this? And then you kind of explain it to them, and they're like, "Oh," and then the next time you come through, it's like, "Here's your ticket." And they get very excited about it. And everybody's got a different reaction to it. So I get in the car, and my favorite spot is the third seat, because I'm 5'4", and I swim in the back seat. It's comfortable. You sit back, and as much as you can relax on the Matterhorn, that's the seat to do it in. So I sit down, and off we go, and everybody gets their own individual seat now, unlike when we were kids where you had to kind of snuggle in and be very friendly with people. Often people you didn't like very much.
Hi, Uncle Bob.
Right. And so this was a lot cooler. And, we'd warn everybody in the cars to take off their hat because they were likely to lose their mouse ears with the hat and whatever. Yeah. And off we went. And so some people, the minute you start to go up that hill, they start screaming and they do not stop except to take a breath. Yeah. And it's like, why? You're not screaming in reaction to anything. You're just making noise. Yeah. That was dumb. And then other people would cheers. They went around corners. That was pretty good. And then some people would be deathly quiet. And all you would hear is the involuntary grunting from the bumping in the track. And so you go around a corner and everyone in the car would go, "Ugh," And but there would be a prevailing air in the car. People would decide what we were all doing. And some people were super annoying, as I mentioned, and there was a couple of guys behind me that were this super lovey-dovey gay couple, and every time we'd go over a dip, they'd go, "Woo!" and they would giggle, and which was really hysterical because nobody else in my 60 rides had that kind of a reaction. It was really, really funny. But anyway, the sad thing about it is I can't tell if it helped because I don't have the pain in the side, which I assume was the stone in the kidney.
Yes.
I have general overall pain everywhere right now, and not because of the ride. I came out of the ride the next day. First off, I came home and I slept really well. Secondly, I got up in the morning and I felt like I had been at the gym, so everything was kind of tight, but it didn't hurt. It wasn't pain. It was just all the hanging on and not trying not to flop around in the car. Just basically made me use a whole bunch of different muscle groups, and so my core muscles were "Oh well, hey, good workout, dude," which was pretty funny, and so I came out of it okay, but I don't know where my kidney stone is. It could be in transit on its way out. It could still be floating around my kidney somewhere. I have no clue. I don't know, and so that's the frustration because I'm I did my part. I did everything I could think of to do to make this work. So I should know something. I should have pain in a different part of my body going, "Hey, it's me, the kidney stone. I'm on my way." And Jeff, I mean, no offense, Jeff, but you were the kidney stone king for a while.
Yeah.
You always had kidney stone.
I had 3 of them,
And it was 6. I'm on my 7th week. Today is seven weeks, and that's excessive, right?
Yeah, it is.
That just doesn't seem right. And so I'm waiting for my doctor to get back to me. But on the plus side, I really sort of enjoyed this whole excuse to go do this really weird thing. Something I've never done at Disneyland. I've never done that at Disneyland. It was crazy. And I've been going to Disneyland since I was like, 5 years old, I guess. And I've, earlier actually, because we came out on vacation and we did it when I was like 3. But I feel that should have been enough. And I've never done anything quite like that, quite that crazy. I had a lot of fun. If you go to my Facebook page and look, there's a whole write-up on it. My Facebook page is public, so whether you're my friend on Facebook or not, you can go check it out. And it's my whole like anthropological study of riding the Matterhorn, and it was kind of fun because it's not a ride that Colleen likes. In fact, it's not a ride that many of my friends like at all. So
It's too bumpy.
Oh man.
yeah, it is like a car wreck. It's really a brutal ride. And doing it once, you can go, oh yeah, I did it, and it was fun. Doing it for hours, it's a weird thing, man. It's really, really a weird thing to do. But I'm kind of glad I did it. It's a little bit of bragging rights. I kind of want like a little Matterhorn pin now for my jacket. I feel like I did something, different. And I just hope that the next time I go back through there, I hope the guys at the Matterhorn are like, oh, it's you. You were that guy.
Oh dear.
I've heard about you.
Yeah, so I hope that I'm a weird piece of Matterhorn lore now. Do you remember that day where that guy wrote it 60 times? Somebody was like, oh man, you should apply for a Guinness book of record for that. And but the problem is, you have to have a Guinness rep there to watch you do it. And so I didn't call Guinness. That wasn't my purpose. My purpose was to get rid of the kidney stone.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I did it. Well, that was my week essentially. Was Monday. And what was funny is they shut down the Matterhorn early, and so basically I was done when they were done.
Gotcha.
And they shut it down for fireworks and shows and things, despite leaving other rides open. So I walked by, took a little picture of the sign that said, Matterhorn closed. It was,
wait a minute. What?
yeah, it was something.
I'm surprised you can walk after 2 times on the Matterhorn. My back is gone.
Jeez.
You know what?
On one ride.
It really wasn't that
Whoa.
bad. And honestly, I kind of feel better for the experience. And I was telling Jeff this at Friday when we were at his birthday and we were going on rides and stuff.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember which ride. And the Matterhorn is one of these. I think Big Thunder is one of these. But I also feel like it's most roller coasters.
Yeah.
There's a thing that happens when you're sitting in the car and you go and your car connects to the chain to drag you up the hill.
Yeah.
And what happens, they start to pull you up the hill, and there's a slip clutch or something that the car drops backwards and catches.
Yes.
And when that happens, because of my height and my particular back, it cracks my spine. It's like chiropractic. And my back will just go pop, 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 pop. And it's actually kind of really cool. And the Matterhorn does that, I discovered, depending on which side you were. So I actually came out of there pretty good. I mean, I'm stiff, but it's the same kind of stiff that I would have if I went to the gym. And that's okay. I'm totally cool with that. And so on top of everything I did at the Matterhorn, I also walked like 9 miles around the park. So I got that, because I thought, walking would help loosen things up too.
So I need to comment on your Guinness World Record thought that you're not even close.
For the Matterhorn?
Okay, maybe for the Matterhorn, but the longest marathon on a roller coaster is 405 hours and 40 minutes.
Right.
From 27 July to 13 August.
Right. But that's a different kind of record.
And then also the most naked riders on a theme park ride is
I'm not
102.
Not going naked on the Matterhorn.
What ride?
Wow.
It is the greatest number of people to bear all on a theme park ride is 102, a record set by enthusiastic members of the public on the Green Scream roller coaster at Adventure Island, Southend-on-Sea, Essex, UK on 8 August 2010. And there's a photo.
Wow.
Part of me really was hoping that was Kennywood.
What ride would it be in Kennywood?
I don't know. Kennywood's kind of a sketchy park.
Most roller coasters ridden in 24 hours is 74.
Wow. That's pretty good. So in a lot of cases, and I've watched like documentaries and stuff on when people set records for roller coasters and things. They just stay in the car, and they've worked it out with wherever they are, and they just keep getting run through one ride after another ride. They stop for bathroom breaks. They have, like, every hour they take a certain amount of time. They have to stop to eat, and do that. That kind of wasn't what I was going for, and certainly, I mean, you know, this was really unofficial with Disney. But, you know, for the Matterhorn, I feel like I'm probably pretty high up there in terms of consecutive rides.
Yeah.
So, you know, and that was the thing. It started much lower. I'm like, oh, you know, I'm going to ride it like 10 times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to ride it 20 times.
Boy.
Yeah, just kind of grew.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have no intent on claiming any kind of Guinness record. That's not what I set out to do.
Yeah.
It's just a personal best, is what we'll call it.
Okay. Don was bringing up about stones, and he's like, the worst part, you know, like when you feel them coming out, that's the bad part. And I'm like, well, if it coming out of the kidney, maybe yes.
Yeah. Well, and so that's I'm sort of counting on the feeling it coming out part, because my doctor really wants to get his hand on that stone.
Once it hits the bladder, most of your pain's pretty much gone from that point on, compared to what you've been through.
Right, but you should acknowledge when you pass it. You're not going to pass it without noticing.
Oh, you'll notice that, yes.
Right, and I'm counting on that.
Yeah.
And that hasn't happened yet. But my doctor wants to take it apart and see what's in it.
Well, I think that's normal. I mean, from what I've heard from other people.
And what I'm trying to do is to keep them from having to go in and get it.
Yeah.
That's not what I want to do.
Well, they would do it with lithotripsy, so they probably wouldn't, like, open you up.
No, they go the back way.
They do?
They go backwards. So the stone comes out in one direction. They go the opposite direction to go get it. I would like to avoid that, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just saying. It's just a thought.
I mean, I think there's something that involves like sonic waves of sorts, but I don't remember what that
ultrasound.
is.
They can break up the stone with ultrasound,
Yeah.
which I'm totally game for
Yeah.
if they want to try. But he didn't seem to think that was something they were going to do.
Yes, I am.
But I'm all
too.
for that. If they think they can break it up with ultrasound, that's great. I mean, it's like the size of a crunch berry. It's like 5 millimeters across. Like a garbanzo bean or something. I don't know what's 5 millimeters.
Chickpea?
It's like that.
5 millimeters?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not even the size of the fingernail on your pinky. You know, it's pretty small.
Five. It's half a centimeter.
Yeah.
True or false? The Matterhorn was one of the first e-ticket rides.
True.
Yep.
That is true. E-ticket used to be my nickname back in the day.
Well, and the other one was the submarine. Oh no, that's when it opened. At the same time as the submarine.
1959.
Yeah.
There were 3 things that opened: the Matterhorn, the submarines, and the monorail. I think all opened at the same time. And you had like 3 levels in one day. You had the submarines and the Matterhorn, and then the monorail. And the Matterhorn is still in Disneyland, not counting DCA, but in Disneyland. It is the tallest peak in Disneyland at 147 feet. So it's taller than the castle, but not taller than the Tower of Terror.
They all opened on the same day, and they all opened as e-tickets, and there were no other e-ticket rides?
That I'm not sure about. I don't know if the Matterhorn was an e-ticket or not. It may have been, just because that was...
Yeah, that was what the question I just asked was.
Yeah.
Was true or false, was it the first e-ticket ride?
The monorail is what I meant to say, if I said Matterhorn. I'm not sure if the monorail was an e-ticket ride.
Sorry?
I'd have to look that up.
The Matterhorn or the monorail?
The monorail. The Matterhorn, yes, e-ticket ride. The monorail...
Oh, you moved on and started talking about monorails, and I didn't get that because I was looking at the information.
Right. The monorail may only have been an e-ticket ride just because the e-ticket was the most expensive in the book.
Gotcha.
And I think the monorail was a pretty expensive venture to put in the park.
Okay, so June 1959,
Uh-huh.
Disney introduced the e-ticket and made the new Submarine Voyage, Matterhorn bobsleds, and monorail e-coupon attractions.
Okay.
And they also had they upgraded a bunch of others to e-tickets, so they weren't the only ones. It sounded from the things that I was reading like they just made these 3 rides the e-tickets, and I'm
no
like,
other ones?
really? That sounds weird. They also made the railroad. Hang on. Okay, the railroad, Rocket to the Moon, Rainbow Ridge pack mules, stagecoaches, Mark Twain riverboat, sailing ship Columbia, rafts to Tom Sawyer Island, and Jungle Cruise were all previously D rides and were upgraded to E.
Right. And basically, as far as the tickets went, E represented the most expensive rides, in addition to being the best.
Yeah.
So like the pack mules were an expensive thing to maintain because they had to maintain actual mules.
I feel like the train wasn't an e-ticket by the time we got.
No, I don't think so. I think they had downgraded it.
Yeah.
Plus, there's limited amounts that you can put on that ticket, and you can only put like 8 things on the ticket, and they had also replaced it with a bunch of interesting things like Space Mountain was like 1979, and things like that. I feel like the rides that cost them a lot of money to go in were the things that got assigned e-tickets so they could make more money off of those rides and recoup their losses. And even though that they weren't great, they were totally great. I think it's just that those were the most expensive things for them to run. Which is like nothing you think about when you're a kid. You just see e-ticket and going, yeah, I'm doing the e-ticket things.
No, the best thing about the ticket booklets were that you always had leftover like A's and B's, maybe a C.
Yeah.
And on the back, there was a checklist of all of the rides in the park. And so the night before you went to Disneyland, you would always stay up too late giggling over, what am I going to ride on first, and like checking off all the checklist.
Right. Well, and that was the cool thing, is they put a checklist on the back of it.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So you could check them out. I would like one, I should just honestly just print one, but I would love one perfect e-ticket. That would be nice. I had one on my keychain for years. I had like an actual e-ticket that I had laminated, and it was on my keychain for years. And then eventually it deteriorated.
What was it that you had printed out for the 55 day? That was not.
No,
because 55 they didn't have.
Yeah,
they didn't have
something else, right?
For you guys, we did an event called 1955 Day, which was a history day at Disneyland. And so everybody was encouraged to dress like they did in 1955, opening day. And I presented everybody with opening day maps and some of the flyers you would get as you went through the turnstiles. And I recreated the tickets that were originally carnival style tickets.
Yeah.
And so you got a ticket. It had a hole in it. The hole was used to forward the ticket through the mechanism. And they were in a big strip, like, say, skee ball tickets that you might get or something like that.
Yes.
They were all denoted with the gate that you went through and bought the tickets, and they were denoted with a sequential number. And so I put little in-jokes and Easter eggs and things like that, but everybody got one of these tickets that, was the kind of ticket that you would get the day that you walked in. What was really fun, so we did the history tour, we had lunch. After lunch, we went on as many rides as we could in sequential order that they were put in the park. That was pretty fun. And we took a big group shot by the castle, which was great. But people with clipboards kept following us around. And Dapper Day wasn't really a thing yet.
Yeah.
To my recollection. And so they were following us around with clipboards. And at one point, these guys, when they saw what we had, the original maps and all this kind of stuff, they came over and asked where we got them, and I said that I had recreated them, and that we weren't selling them on eBay, and we weren't trying to fake people into going, hey, look, we have these Disney collectibles. And they're like, hey, would you come to the front gate? And so we went to the front gate, where they wanted to show all the ticket takers what they would have taken in 1955, which was these are the maps you would have handed out, these are the tickets you would have given. Which was really neat. Yeah. Although what I was really sad to learn, and this may have just been the people that I dealt with, because I just asked somebody in the pin shop about the Rocketeer, and she didn't know what it was. What is that, like a movie? Oh my God. So we went into City Hall, and there's long been a rumor in City Hall that occasionally people will try to redeem old tickets.
Okay.
And the way Disneyland's policy is, they will take it. If you have an old ticket to Disneyland that's an entry ticket, they will accept it, even if the face value of that ticket is $1.25. You're in. But they will take that ticket, and I had heard that there was a binder that they keep all those things in so that they can show people, this is the history of Disneyland admission. And I was very sad to find out that either that's not true or nobody knows where that book is.
Oh, man.
Because I really wanted to see it. And I walked in with our stuff, and I said, hey, I'd love to see what you have. And they're like, we've never heard of that, which was really, really a bummer. But I have heard of people who say that they've seen it. I know some cast members.
But it could be urban lore.
It could easily be urban lore, because it's exactly the kind of thing that we would love. And if you're like a Disney head, you would totally love it. So I've been talking to a lot of people who have the Magic Key Passes now, and we're trying to decide, like, are we keyholes or are we keysters? Like, it's hard to say.
Maybe that depends on your age.
Yeah, maybe.
I've heard keyholes more. Keysters is the new one.
Keyhole is what I started using.
Yeah.
But I think keister is rapidly gaining ground, because they used to be pass holes, and keister has a similar rear end connotation.
I like keysters.
What are the cast members saying so far? Do they have a name for us yet?
They just laugh when I bring it up, because I have asked. I've done an informal thing, especially on the Matterhorn. I go by, what do you think, keister or keyhole? And they just laugh. And they're like officially not allowed to have an opinion on that.
And we certainly said pass holes behind closed doors.
Totally.
I think
Kelly
people are still
says
saying
Kelly says keymasters.
Keymaster.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
that sounds too cool, though.
I know.
Well-
That's the thing. This is sort of like for jerky people.
If someone asks you if you're the keymaster, you say yes.
Yeah.
Josh is like, what's that
Yeah.
from?
Yeah.
I'm just going to laugh at it.
I can't believe that girl didn't know what the Rocketeer was. Oh
It's
my
from
God.
Ghostbusters.
Oh, I'm gonna.
If someone asks if you're a god, you say yes.
Right.
God.
I'm gonna disappoint
God.
everyone here. I don't like Ghostbusters.
God.
What?
I
know.
feel like it's
What?
an age
Good.
thing, because
Wow.
I took someone your age to go see Ghostbusters, because I was like, you say you're this big geek and you've never seen Star Wars, excuse me, and you've never seen Ghostbusters, and it came to a park near us, and I'm like, no, come, let's watch this.
Yeah.
He hated it. And I was like,
Really?
what? But I feel like it's like a generational thing.
But I love other movies from that decade. Like Back to the
No,
Future came out
I
the
mean-
year after, and I love that movie.
I mean Ghostbusters. Like, the liking of Ghostbusters, I feel like it might be a generational thing. Jeff might have an answer to this.
I
Do your
think
kids
a lot of
like
it.
it?
Yes. I think a lot of it is because
Blows
two
my
is
theory.
Well, but they're
Very-
his kids.
yeah. Yeah.
Why are we surprised?
I think you also would have at the time would have had to say watch the old Saturday Night Lives,
Okay.
because basically everyone on there was from there,
Right.
or SCTV, but and find that kind of comedy or ad libbing, funny, but I think that's why it may not relate.
Kelly,
more to a lot of
Ghostbusters has
people.
not lost its appeal to me.
Yeah, I love Ghostbusters.
I don't think it's bad, and the cast is fantastic, and they certainly had good chemistry, and I like a lot of things that all of them are in it for different works. It's for some reason that movie doesn't work for me, and I've given it a try a few times, and I feel bad because, of course, most people that I know like Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I mean, did you see the one with the girls?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I've only seen 1 and 2. I kind of like 2, which I know a lot of people don't like.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Back to the Future?
I really like part 2, but
I knew it. I knew you were going to say
But-
that.
but-
That's
part
explains
one.
everything.
but part 1 is easily the most perfect script that I think I've ever seen put to screen. Everything is so tied together in a way that I can't find a fault in it, and I love coming back to that every single time, just seeing like how they interwoven that. And I think this must have been a nightmare to write.
Was
So
2
fantastic.
the first one you saw?
No, I saw them maybe for the first time 5 years ago,
Oh,
and I saw all of them in
goodness.
just
Wow.
one go.
Okay.
We saw
Wow.
2 and 3 as one movie, which was
Oh,
really
okay.
interesting. There was a Universal Studios had a back-to-back-to-back
Yeah.
screening, and we hadn't seen 2,
Yeah.
and 3 was brand new.
Yeah.
And so it was really interesting to see. We saw all 3 of them at once,
Yeah.
but it was interesting to see 2 and 3 as one unit.
Yeah.
I'm setting aside the fact that the first one, like you said, is
Yeah.
like the perfect movie.
Mhm.
I
And
I
film
really
writers think that, too.
love
Mhm.
Back to the Future 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really am a
Um,
big fan.
Yeah, I like both of them. You know, and I can't say
There's
which
3, Jeff.
out of 1 and 3.
Oh, okay.
Number two is in the middle. I like the first and third one kind of equally, and it's probably because I'm more fond of where the time periods they go to,
Yeah.
as opposed to
Mhm.
85 again. You're going back to 85. I
Yeah.
already lived in
3
85.
was
That
a
sucks.
proper time travel movie
Yeah.
to me.
Right.
And so
And it was a Western.
right.
Yeah.
And the costumes were on point.
Well, because it was a Western.
Yeah.
I'm going to add in here just a quick thing, only because we already have ours coming, apparently.
Uh-oh.
Last year, after Christmas, I did a advent calendar that was the Back to the Future advent calendar from Playmobil. And I did it between Christmas and the election, because I figured that by the time I was done with the advent calendar, there will be an old white-haired guy who was taking out the blonde-haired bully, and that somehow seemed very appropriate. So I did that, and they announced this year that they were doing Back to the Future 3 as an advent calendar, and that is now available
Nice.
to order. I was going to go order it, and Colleen's
Cool.
like, don't, because I did.
Yes, Sean said to me, so the Back to the Future 3 calendar is
It's gone live.
it's gone live, and I'm like, oh, did you decide that's the advent calendar you want this year? And he's like, yeah, I think it is. And I said, okay, well, don't order it because it's already on its way.
Yeah.
I do want to
So-
say regarding the third film, it has certainly grown. I never disliked it, but over more watches, I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty cute of a movie.
Yeah.
And I agree with Sean that it is a proper time travel movie. And now
Yeah.
having driven through the Western United States twice, and especially on this recent trip I had, like, it's really
Yeah,
cool to
yeah.
go to because it's just such a beautiful area.
And yet
to
you
look
didn't
at.
get attacked by Indians.
Did not.
Or
I
a
know.
bear.
I did play the entire soundtrack to that movie while driving through Utah.
So
well,
that's fine.
he
Or a
wasn't
cannon.
thinking fourth dimensional.
There's a-
That's probably.
there's a Back to the Future cookbook,
Hmm.
and I'm like, does it have like the rabbit with pellets in it? How do you make that happen?
Maybe the dog food at the
It
beginning.
has
of the
whatever
movie.
they're eating at Lorraine's parents' table.
Ugh, Einstein, look at that. That's really funny. We are just about at the top
Yeah,
of the
darn
hour
close.
here.
Yeah.
So I'll tell
And
you.
we never even got to Star Wars.
Right, well,
Eventually, someday. Well,
you know, we're still sort of like
Yeah.
talking about our
Yeah.
week.
Right.
You are listening, if you're listening to us on
Whatever.
sci-fi.radio, DB94. We're very grateful for you doing that. You could be watching us on Twitch. You could be watching us on YouTube or on my Facebook page. Either of those things are
Yes.
acceptable. Any links you see flying by are posted up by Kit Bobakit Sovine, which we really appreciate. And I am Sean Crosby.
this is Jeff Solodano.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
Josh Flatbike Capelli.
Special guest. And we're very grateful for you guys chipping in.
Woohoo!
And I'm trying to see if it's telling me like how many people.
It's 12 on Twitch right now.
That's fine.
And so.
Hey, I found out why we don't have the right number up for our recording.
Oh,
It didn't enter the thing into Restream.
Good grief. So.
How rude.
Bunch of turkeys.
And we need, and plus, in regards to Back to the Future, we need to get those. We need to make those promos.
Make the what?
Make the promos.
Oh, the promos for
Yes.
the station. Yeah. We were talking about I do Marty and Jeff does
Yeah.
Doc.
Yeah.
and we were talking about.
I bet I could do a Back to the Future 3.
Mary Steenburgen.
Yeah.
Run
I'd have to
through
try
the,
it.
Run through the
Clara?
background calling for Emmett.
So
Way back
we are going to have a taste test. It's not a taste test. We're going to sample a product.
We're gonna eat cookies,
We're going to eat cookies.
and we're gonna make you
Um,
watch. It's basically what it
Oh,
boils
dear.
down to.
I was in the store and I saw the pumpkin Milanos, which sounded they're either going to be really good or they're going to be really bad.
I think
I
the
don't know.
last time I was on here, I taste tested something.
Yeah,
We like to taste test.
We don't do this enough,
Yeah.
but yeah, we do it frequently. So
Oh, that's not.
But I'm not very good at opening packages, apparently. There we go. Almost. I should have opened it before the show. Sorry.
well, that's okay. I'm sure it sounds great on the radio.
Yeah. Crinkle,
Crinkle,
crinkle.
crinkle, crinkle, crinkle.
Jeff, you want to take one and pass that around? So here is what the cookie looks like.
It looks like
It
fall.
looks like every other Milano, except it's got an orange stripe now.
Got
Yeah.
the Halloween one, too.
I usually like the mint ones. Those are usually my favorite.
1, 2, 3.
Sorry, kid. We can't send you one.
You guys know we love you, and if we could Wonka vision you
Totally.
what we were taste testing, we would totally share them with you.
Well, they
Yeah.
smell pumpkiny.
It
I mean-
tastes like the fall section of a store, and I didn't know that was possible. It's
They
interesting.
taste like the fall section of a store.
Yeah, like when you walk into
You're
a
right.
store that it's all their
Yeah.
fall and Halloween
It
stuff
tastes
out,
like-
so it tastes like.
It
That
tastes
smell.
like fall potpourri.
Yes.
And you taste candles. Like when you go by a candle display and you smell them, you can also taste them.
I don't know if I
That's
want to
what
try
this-
potpourri.
That's what this
Oh,
tastes
yeah.
like to me.
Yeah.
It tastes like a Halloween candle.
It tastes like wax.
Oh, wait! I have a Halloween candle right here.
try and
There you
see.
go. It is the same color.
The Halloween candle actually smells better than the cookie. But I don't really want to taste the cookie because I'm not a person who licks
You don't want to taste the
inappropriate
candle.
things. Yeah, right. The
Yeah.
candle.
There's
not
a
the cookie.
store, like a craft store. I think it's Michael's, but I'm not sure. That always has that fall smell.
It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's
it
like,
kind of
um,
tastes like Michael's.
Home
It's like
Depot also
allspice.
has it a little bit because they always have like those cinnamon broomsticks and things like that. That I like up there. There are certain things that make me think of weird stuff. Like a lot of people really love red jelly beans. Like traditional old jelly beans that you get for Easter, not the Jelly Bellies, but just like jelly beans. And the red ones to me always taste like lipstick. They're like grandma lipstick flavor. It's like always awful. And I know
Gross.
people who are like, oh God, I love those so much. And I'm like, why? Bleh.
Sean, how does this compare to the pumpkin frappe thing you had at Starbucks?
Oh, that you brought me?
No,
Was
not
it-
the
Oh,
one
no,
today.
the
The one we
pumpkin
had.
spice. No, the Starbucks thing was way better. It was way better.
I mean, it definitely has like a pumpkin-y kind of taste to it, but it's definitely
Yeah.
there's a chunk of allspice in there, definitely. So
Well,
that's what the whole aftertaste is.
Yeah.
it says wheat flour, riboflavin.
So
Vegetable
Andy
oil.
says
Damn you, rabbit.
that he would jar that Michael's smell. And I gotta say that this is a Glade candle.
Frantic scrapbookers.
I'm trying to see if it says what flavor it is, but it's just a Glade candle and
I
it's,
don't want to smell that.
it smells like pumpkin.
They're not
And-
even saying what the flavors are in here. On the ingredients. You're out of luck.
Doesn't that smell better than the cookie? You can pass it over
It
and Josh
smells
can
more
smell
like-
it.
Well, on the plus side,
It smells like fall.
it's limited edition. So,
I don't know about it. I mean,
limited
it just
edition.
just
So it's
smells
not
like
gonna
what
be
a candle
around
would
for a
smell
while.
like that was fall.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the
You know?
same. What did you say about it originally? You said it would smell better.
I thought it smelled better.
Then the cookies.
Yeah.
Good luck. We're counting on you.
But maybe it's not even a pumpkin
It's like it's in
candle.
the same realm, but
Yeah.
it smells different. So anyone want more?
No, thank you.
I'm good.
Did you smell that candle?
They're a
already,
hit.
Sean?
waxy.
Wow.
It's the kind of snack you enjoy while walking the halls of Madame Tussauds.
Oh no.
It's like those little wax bottles, but not good.
Okay, so I like the wax bottles though.
Yeah.
So at the start of this, I apologized to Kit. Kit, you got off easy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Oh, that she didn't
I mean,
have
you
to
know.
taste test
I
anything.
apologize that we couldn't get her a cookie.
Well,
She wins.
But yeah, the cookies
but
don't taste
you know
that
what?
good.
They weren't that great.
they're better than the Vegemite.
No, the
No, they're
Vegemite that
not.
was in the chocolate.
No, they're
That
not.
was so disgusting.
I liked
The
them.
And it was
Vegemite
funny because
was
Jeff
just-
didn't want to
oh
be
my
rude,
God.
so he ate his whole piece.
Oh
And
my
I'm like,
God.
Peh.
I choked that down. That was.
We got a box from some friends.
Oh my
of
God, it was
ours,
horrible.
And I married a couple. I officiated for a couple, and I said thank you. They sent this package of Australian treats, and there was like a Cadbury bar, which we love. We absolutely love Cadbury, and they it had Vegemite as the filling in it, and Vegemite is a vegetable paste that is
Gross.
mostly yeast based, and so it's like a peanut butter substitute, but it's really strong, and it is not to everybody's taste.
Yeah.
That's
I
for sure.
believe it has a high component of yeast in it.
I think
I
it's
said
like.
that. I think.
Oh,
I
did
think
you?
It's
was
like
closing the
it's like
window.
what they would do to the kids, like as as a trick for Halloween. Have some chocolate.
Oh, Kit made sugar cookies today, so
Ooh.
she actually wins.
Oh,
and,
she totally wins. Yeah.
Totally.
and somebody said, I guess Andy said they're making cinnamon rolls tomorrow.
Sweet.
So,
That's
Nice.
So you can come on over.
That's
yeah.
Some baked goods.
If you need our address, send us a PM.
Okay, so someone noted that Shawn said after Good Morning Tatooine that he didn't remember to watch. Oh, it's Wild Card. Didn't remember to watch
What if?
What If,
Yes.
the zombie episode 5,
Yeah.
Yes.
and we did not, in fact, get a chance to
Right.
watch
We
that.
were gonna try. We completely failed.
I saw it, but
Good
Josh,
job.
did you see it?
I saw half of it.
Oh, see, there you
I
go.
watched the whole thing.
so we're like 1.5.
Yeah. And so I think we'll hold it. Till, we'll
One
hold
out
it
of
till
4.
next week. You guys are off.
You okay with
one
that,
more
Jeff?
week to watch it. But yeah, we didn't get to
was
it.
that?
I was
Saw
gonna
that.
do it this afternoon, and then we goofed off
Oh,
with Josh
okay.
instead.
It's an emergency vehicle or something. A lot of
There
light
was
flashing.
like strobing on the house out there, but
Yeah.
you know,
Oh.
what Jeff said.
Yeah, they come down the
Oh,
street periodically.
But it's like there was no
it's
sirens
like a
or anything.
security, it's like a security company.
It was
It's
just
got a
flashing
yellow.
lights.
It's a yellow flashing light, so it's probably a security company.
Okay.
That'll come through here.
Anyway, I did see
Perfect
Shang-Chi
radio.
again over this past week. So
You saw what?
Shang-Chi again.
I thought you said Shawn the G-Man. What the heck is that? I can't remember if we reviewed Shang-Chi or not.
We mentioned that we saw it, but we did not give a spoiler review
Yay.
because it had only been out for a week.
Yeah.
And so we decided to wait for a 2-week thing. I mean, conceivably we could give a review now if we wanted to, but we gave a non-spoiler review, basically saying that we loved it and it was fun.
All right, so let's give a spoiler review. Let's give everybody a.
All right.
Well, I mean, it's been out 2 weeks. That kind of
Whoops,
we're not
sorry.
going to tell you what the end of it is, but
Yeah.
Right.
we might spoil something. So if you're waiting to see it, what are we going to do? 5 minutes or 10 minutes?
Let's do 10 minutes. We can
Oop,
always end
we're going
early.
in depth. So come back at 8:20.
That'll be fine. 20 after the hour.
Shang-Chi and
Woohoo.
Shang-Chi the Jedi G-Man. That's what Laura says.
Well, and that was the thing that was really funny is that
Kinda fits.
Shang-Chi's Americanized hiding name was Shawn,
Yeah.
which
Right.
was like really it was totally like Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's like, oh, I'll change my name to Ben Kenobi. No one will
Yes.
get that. And so he went from like Shang-Chi.
Well, I mean,
Totally
it
different
worked.
Kenobi.
well, so that we know.
As far as we know. Yeah, I guess we'll find out in
in the next
spring.
yeah. When
Yeah.
when
Is that
Obi-Wan
what's
comes
coming out? Spring?
Mhm.
Oh, that's good news. I didn't know when it's coming out.
So anyway, the movie I expected a lot from the movie.
Yeah.
What I didn't expect from it that it did that I thought was kind of cool, and this was a little schizophrenic. It didn't exactly know what kind of movie it was, which was okay because it like went through a whole bunch of different kinds of movies. I mean, it was like Speed for a while. It was like a kung fu movie. It became a kaiju movie at one point. It was like all sorts of stuff kind of thrown together. It was this weird, friends drama. It was a weird family drama. It was an really interesting thing. But I kind of liked that. I liked that it was all over the map because it did it well.
Mm-hmm.
It did it well. And the other thing that it did really, really well, and I like Awkwafina as an actress.
Yeah.
Her name drives me nuts. and she is named after the water, by the way. She's confirmed this.
Yeah, it's just switched around lettering, but yeah.
Right. She originally was named completely after the water, and then she decided to mess with the spelling.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as a rapper, she's just kind of to me. But she was the perfect everyman person in this movie.
Yeah.
To be the audience surrogate because she wasn't a complete dope. She was down for everything.
Yeah.
And, she had a logical progression through the movie as opposed to, being this weird fantasy girlfriend thing.
And I was certainly glad they didn't go that route. So that was great. Yeah.
I was very appreciative of that as well. And I love Awkwafina. In everything I've seen her in. I have no problem with her name. The only problem that I have with her is her posture. I wish she wouldn't hunch over so much. That would be better, but that's really none of my business.
Well,
I
yeah,
guess.
it's her rapper style.
Probably, yeah. I mean, whatever.
But anyway, I thought she did a really good job, and kind of everybody did. Nobody stood out as like, ooh, wow, that person's over their head.
I was what I also liked was and I forget the actor, but basically the actual Mandarin, his dad. And I liked that what they did with it wasn't like the comics. With the comics, he was this maniacal, lust for power, while do whatever he can to
Well,
get to
you know
kill.
who he was in the comics, right? He was Fu Manchu in the comics. He was like the ultimate, like, Asian menace guy. He was actually Fu Manchu in the original comics.
But the fact that it was that, the heart, his character, and his wife who passed, whatever, and the whole heart of that character coming around, that's what I liked, because it didn't, it surprised me a bit, because I was expecting, because I know the more of the character from the comics, that it was going to be, hey, I'm here and I don't really hear her talking to me or whatever. I'm just going to go in there and get power. That's what I was thinking. It was just he wants more power, and it was like, no, that wasn't it. It was true, like to the the
something
character.
that I thought was really
their character.
Timely about the movie was that it was showing what happens when someone you love starts believing in conspiracy theories, and when you have to stand up to them to save the world, basically.
Yeah.
From they're crazy.
Right.
Because, I mean, he was crazy.
He was nuts.
Yeah, he was conspiracy theory crazy.
And he was hearing what he wanted to hear.
Well,
and following
he wasn't necessarily hearing what he wanted to hear.
Well, he was hearing what the bad
creature
guy
was
whispering in his head.
But he went with it.
Well, because
he had a choice.
And every time he was presented with evidence that this was coming from somewhere else, he would twist it in a way, and that was what I meant by the conspiracy theory.
Right.
One of the aspects of the comic book with the Mandarin, and this is something I sent you the video thing about the Mandarin, and they don't really delve into it in this film, and I'm hoping that's what they're going to go with the films following, is that the Mandarin, depending on who he's talking to, they get a different history. story.
Oh,
He tells them
interesting.
it's like there's like every time he talks about his past, it's something. The story
different.
alters,
Oh.
and but they didn't do that with this. But they also didn't really tell you where the rings came from in this.
Right.
So
Yeah, they didn't.
no, and in the comics, to put it quick and easy, they came from a spaceship from some space dragons. Okay, so.
Well, I'm glad they didn't go into
Yeah.
that then, because that would have undermined a lot of the movie.
So it was they were basically what powered the ship. So.
And they're like finger rings in the comics,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I love the fact
Yeah,
that
but
they didn't do that.
The
That was
wrist
really
rings
cool.
come from actual
Yeah.
martial arts movies
Yeah.
that we've seen in
Yeah.
other things as
Oh,
defensive weapons.
interesting.
Yeah.
So
Josh,
and
would.
what's the dragon's name? There's a dragon, one of those alien dragons,
Yeah.
whatever. I was thinking that's what that dragon was in there, but it was just a dragon. So I'm hoping that we
he
will
had
bring about
he
it.
had a name.
Yeah.
I just don't remember what
Yeah.
it was.
Josh, what did you think of it?
I loved it. I
Yeah.
went into the movie not really knowing anything about it. I think maybe I watched one trailer. With Marvel movies now, I know I'm going to see it, so unless it's something I'm really looking forward to, like Spider-Man or an Avengers film, I won't watch the trailer.
Yeah.
I'm just like, all right, I know I'm going to show up. We'll see what I think of it.
So that's a very spoiler-free existence.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus I knew nothing about Shang-Chi. I think I could only equate this to seeing Guardians for the first time, because that was another one I knew absolutely nothing about, and it didn't seem to have like a whole ton of hype until right before it came out, because everyone was so puzzled as to what is this.
Yeah.
And this one really didn't seem to have any hype. It didn't feel like Disney was pushing it too hard until it came out, and like, oh, everyone really likes it. So,
Oh, surprise!
yeah, I'm walking in, like I don't know anything else. That was fun because I saw it with some friends, and we're all Marvel fans, and we all went, we don't know anything about this, but that's cool. When's the last time we got a chance to not know about a Marvel property? And it, as you all said, it was just hitting every note. And what was also fun about it is it didn't seem to kind of step on itself with certain things. Like a lot of Marvel movies have some humor points that for some people that's like, okay, maybe we didn't need a joke here. And this movie didn't do that at all. I love the jokes that it had. Awkwafina was easily my favorite character.
Yeah.
But when,
Although I also like the sister.
yeah, something Zuzaling. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm
I'm
not
not
great
sure.
with the names, but
Xialing, yeah.
okay. It's every moment that needed to like kind of have it stay did, and I love that the film could breathe at different points.
Well, and
That's why
everything made
stuck
sense.
together.
They didn't force stuff on you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It had a really good flow to it. That even like Trevor Slattery showing up,
Oh
in
yeah,
the
that was
fake
so
Mandarin
cool.
was really, really funny and appropriate.
Yeah.
And even though he was sort of a dorko comic relief character,
Yeah.
he fit in
Yeah.
the way they shoehorned him in.
I did not like the little puppy thing with no face.
With no face.
It's like a walking footstool.
Yeah.
It
Ugh.
It was,
was-
I don't know.
was
It was
creepy.
cute.
interesting that they brought Abomination back.
Yes.
So
yes.
Abomination is now in the
That's
the
that's
MCU.
because he will be in She-Hulk.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's
that's it.
Abomination?
Tim Roth. He was the guy that Wong was fighting in the fight ring.
Oh
In
yeah.
The
the- in
creature-looking
Fight
guy.
Club?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was,
Oh
yeah.
right, yeah.
yeah.
Because really I know they say Iron Man's the first of the Marvel MCU movies, but really the one that actually kind of started all of it was the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, it's just that nobody liked it.
Yeah. Well,
It
I liked it.
didn't
I
do
don't know
very
about you.
I kind of like it too.
I liked it.
It's not
But,
as bad as people say it is.
It introduced the
I'll have to go back and watch
Abomination,
it.
so we got him.
Yeah, it's good.
And the dragon, the space dragon's name is Fen Fang Foom, but that's not what they call this dragon. In the
No,
movie.
the dragons here.
We have 1 minute.
The villain was Dweller in the Darkness.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I can't remember what the other one was. It was like the Great Protector.
Great
or something.
Protector.
in this, I'll say it real quick. Just for the audience, if people have actually seen the movie, I've asked around, I still can't get an answer to this. who the heck is the elevator operator in this damn movie?
And is he from Kung Fu Hustle?
Yeah, because he looks like the one character who was trying to finish a shampoo in Kung Fu Hustle. Because the water turned off.
But
the
weapons master in the village was from.
He was the landlord.
He was the landlord in Kung Fu Hustle. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah. Anyway, we have run out of time, so we don't want to. I knew we'd use 10 minutes.
See if you feel safe. It's a good movie.
Yeah,
easily.
If you haven't seen it, it's worth your time.
I actually want to see that darn thing again.
On a big screen.
Yeah.
Really on a big screen. We saw it in 3D. Colleen and I did. And we haven't seen a 3D movie in quite a while, and it wasn't forced on you. It was it was good. It was what it needed to be.
Okay, so
like Avatar. Remember how Avatar was like looking into a fishbowl and you could see the depth? It was more like that.
Okay, good. Okay. So like a tool, not a...
Yeah.
I'm just really disappointed that of the 4 movies I've seen this year, I am disappointed that Jungle Cruise wasn't the one that I saw in 3D. I would really like to have seen Jungle Cruise in 3D. I think that would have been really good.
Yeah.
And this was fine. I enjoyed it. Yeah. It was actually a little disconcerting at the beginning because it wasn't like things were jumping out at you, but it made me feel a little bit dizzy to start with.
Yeah, but then we hadn't seen a 3D movie and
and 3D does tend to affect me oddly. So there's that.
In Jungle Cruise, I would have definitely been really cool in 3D. We saw it in 2D, but that was a really good film too. So got a couple of good ones from Disney out. So
I haven't seen Jungle Cruise yet.
Wow.
I'm still waiting on that one.
Oh, it's really good.
Yeah, I've heard it's like Indiana Jones and Mummy-esque to it, which sounds like my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah.
And they're making a sequel, so.
Oh.
Cool.
It is. I mean, once you know that it's good, and you know that it's based on the Jungle Cruise, and that it's like Indiana Jones and the Mummy.
Yeah.
There's not really very many surprises in it. But it's still really fun.
It's got a little Goonies. It's all the movies we grew up with. It's got some stuff from. Yeah, but it was fun.
Those movies aren't just good on your first viewing. They're good to just be there.
Oh, I've seen Jungle Cruise twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely worth seeing again. Like I'll watch it again, I'm sure.
Yeah, the Jaguar looks so much better than when they first showed it, so I was happy.
Yeah, well, I mean, by the time something shows up in the trailer, it's usually like a placeholder.
Yeah, and
they'll give you better later on.
Yes.
So it's the Jumanji trailer was that way too, when you're like looking at it going, and then the movie was just fine. Did you see the game that came out for Jumanji at Target? It's like a $50 game that looks like the wood box, and you open it, and the dome has animations in it and video.
Oh.
It's really cool. I mean, it still looks kind of cheap because, of course, they're trying to keep the price down. But with a paint job, it'd be amazing. It looks just like the game.
I have to say one more thing about Jungle Cruise. If you are a fan of the ride, the Jungle Cruise, the first, I'd say 15 minutes, which is the whole opening up until the credits, is worth the price of the entire movie. Okay. I mean, like, the rest of the movie's good, but that first 15 minutes, you'll be like, yep, I got my money's worth. If it stopped now, I would still be happy.
Yeah,
because they managed to incorporate the ride in a really logical way.
Yeah.
They did a really good job with it. Yeah, that was super cool.
Yep. All right, so should we talk about any of the other things? You want to talk about Star Wars?
I was getting around that one.
Or do we want to jump around, or?
Well, I don't know. We can. Do we have like serious Star Wars history we need to cover? What do you think, Jeff? That's your bit.
I mean, I like covering we can cover at least the first two. We don't have to do the whole thing, because that's the whole thing just cycles and cycles and cycles. But
all right, so give us the first two.
Yeah. Okay. It's the birthday thing. So we have on September 15th, 1922, is when Bob Anderson was born, and he was basically Vader in the Vader in the suit when he's doing all the fencing and whatnot, whatever, so to speak.
Yeah, he was a swords master and stuntman who actually fought Luke on Bespin.
Yeah.
And interestingly, because the Vader helmet was so limited, they made a special helmet for him where they had plexiglass cheek pieces, so he could not only look through the eyes, he could look down through the mask and see out.
Yeah, because boy, I've worn that helmet. Well, not that one for the movie, but a helmet. It's hard to see in that thing.
It's a little nuts.
Yeah.
Bob was also the swordmaster that trained the actors on Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah.
He was involved
It
with
said
that?
it said something about that in the thing. So, if it pulls it up again.
Yeah, he did a lot of stuff. And as I remember,
Why does he keep doing that?
he went
Highlighting
like
everything?
way back. He was in like The Guns of Navarone. He was in Casino Royale in 1967, the comedy one. He did Superman 2.
Yeah.
He did Candle Shoe.
Yeah.
I made Colleen watch Candle Shoe.
I liked it.
And he was
Yeah.
also the Swordmaster on the Highlander TV
Yeah.
series. So he did all the cool stuff
Yeah.
there. But yeah, gosh, he
Lord of the Rings with Christopher Lee, and Zorro movies, and boy,
He went
The
way
whole
back.
repertoire.
yeah.
Barry Lyndon, he was a swordmaster in Highlander. He was a swordmaster in The Princess Bride, one of two, who worked Carrie Elwes really hard. The Three Musketeers. I mean, if you like, sword movies from like the mid 1950s on, he had his fingers in those.
Yes.
So yeah, it's really good.
And our next one is September 11th, 1934. It was Ian Abercrombie, voice actor, was born.
Great.
Yeah. And he was the voice of Palpatine, Star Wars Clone Wars film and the series.
Okay.
Until I think what's his name took over after he passed away.
Yeah, he's an old stage actor, and so he did a whole bunch of stuff. Like he was in everything that they shot in England, and in fact, you can recognize him pretty well in Young Frankenstein as one of the villagers in Young Frankenstein, which is cool. He doesn't have a credit, but he was there. He was in Battlestar Galactica. He did all sorts of cool stuff.
Nice. Well, there you go.
All right.
Move on to the other stuff.
So, just in time for your, oh my gosh, you have to do your Christmas shopping early this year because nothing will be available, so buy it now. They have come out with the Tiny Book of Grogu. And by tiny, they mean literally tiny.
It's like an inch and a half.
1.3 by 1.75 inches.
Yeah, it's really cool.
But adorable, and it'll fit in a stocking. So, why not?
Oh, I've seen these type of things.
Is it actually like a book that opens?
It is a real book, and it has like 95
It
pages.
pulls out of a little case, and it's filled with photos and quotes from Grogu's early life.
And
Or life that we've seen so far.
from other people.
Yeah. I'm probably,
Foundlings are the future. This is the way.
Don't touch that.
There's a whole series of these. There's the Tiny Book of Sith, the Tiny Book of Jedi, and they each have like 95 pages.
And they cost $10.
Yeah, they're $10.
Would this be our first look into what was happening with Grogu prior to Mandalorian?
No. I'm sure that this is
stuff you already
things
know
like
from the show.
like the Mandalorian saying, "Don't touch that."
It's this.
That would be a quote.
Okay.
Witness
cool though.
Witness epic and adorable moments in the life of Grogu in the pocket-sized book of quotes. So it's all stuff you've seen before. It's nothing special.
Yeah.
It's just another
It's just
reason
something to sell you.
Sell a little book, right?
Yeah.
It would be funny if there was like a little Easter egg in there from like the Jedi Temple. Like, oh, cool.
I doubt it. Yeah.
Yeah, really.
If you guys got a chance to watch this, yay, because it was really good.
I did not see it.
Oh, everybody has to watch this. Lego Star Wars Trick or Treat, celebrate this season short. It's just a little Mandalorian goes trick or treating.
Oh, okay.
And it's very sharp. Like, it's crisp to look at.
Well, it's all CG.
Yeah. and it was cute.
Okay.
It was a little Lego short.
Lego understands that it's not canon and it can do whatever it wants, and so they usually have
Definitely not canon.
they have a pretty good sense of humor and manage to bring that out.
Yeah,
So.
well, everybody go and watch it. And then the final Star Wars item we have is that Jennifer Hale is back as Bastila Shan for PS5 Knights of the Old Republic remake.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's a pretty big deal. A lot of people really liked her character, and so it's nice that she gets to sort of replay that character. The name of the game is called Remake, which is weird. And we talked about this last time, I think. We don't know how much of it is retreading previous ground, and they're just doing it with better graphics and gameplay mechanics, or how much of it is them like redesigning the entire game to be familiar but different. So we'll have to see.
Theme parks. So this headline is very misleading. It says, new after-hours 5-day event coming to Disneyland called Disney Merry Us Nights.
Yeah.
It is not a 5-day event.
It is a 4-hour event.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just 4 hours. It's 4 hours plus. I think it's like 7 hours actually.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But you can buy a ticket for any one of 5 days, and it's like the Oogie Boogie Bash, but it's the Christmas thing, and you get, in the same way that the Oogie Boogie Bash and the other pay extra events are, you pay your $160 or whatever it is, and you get, I didn't actually look at the price, I just pulled that out of the air.
I believe it's pretty high.
You get into the park 3 hours before the event starts, and then the event starts, and you get 4 hours.
Tickets start at $165.
How did I pull that out of the air?
Bargain!
The event takes place from 8 p.m. to midnight. You can get into the park up to 3 hours prior to the event start time. But the actual event itself is only 4 hours.
Yeah.
You still get to hang around the park for 3 hours.
So you get 7 hours.
Yeah.
When we say that you only get 4 hours at the event, it always makes it seem like only 4 hours, but you actually get 7 hours.
Well, the events used to run a lot later. You used to get more event time than just park time.
So is this similar to the Christmas parties that they do at Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World?
Yeah, it's sort of their version at Disneyland.
Has Disneyland ever done a Christmas thing like this before?
I
it wasn't a thing when I was working there.
Not really.
No.
I mean, they tried doing Disney After Dark, and they've done some things like that. But they're doing the Christmas Fantasy Parade. They're doing the Snowfall on Main Street, theme photo ops, unlimited photo pass.
It sounds like
dance
anything
parties.
that is holiday themed will be open. So because it's a Small World Holiday and Haunted Mansion Holiday will be open, and a Christmas Fantasy Parade, but they're not having all the attractions open.
It says like Galaxy's Edge is not going to be open.
Oh.
There are 6 areas that have different characters. So Mickey, Miguel, Tiana, Elsa, Lilo, Stitch, and Buzz Lightyear.
So have plenty of opportunities to buy stuff.
And Main Street with Santa Claus. And you can get there.
I'm glad they didn't make one of those Disney Merriest Nights November 17th, because that was close.
That would be.
They've got one on November 16th.
When they first posted these on one of the Facebook pages I'm on, I'm like, wow, we dodged that bullet.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But it could be that that's when they decide when they're going to put these events. They might have looked at how popular Life Day was last time.
So Mickey's party
Probably not.
is a Victorian themed party on Main Street. Miguel from Coco has a Feliz Navidad party in Frontierland. Tiana is in New Orleans with a jazzy New Orleans holiday. Tomorrowland has a party with Buzz Lightyear and a DJ. Lilo and Stitch are doing one in Adventureland that I assume will be a tiki flavored one. And then Fantasyland gets Frozen with Elsa.
What with Frozone? Man.
I know, right?
They should do a crossover between Frozen and Frozone.
That would be awesome.
That would be cool. I would watch that.
Okay. We have the food guide to this year's Halloween treats at the Disneyland Resort, but I don't think we really have time to go over those.
Okay.
We'll come back to it if we need to.
Yeah, there's always next.
And then there are things to do at Downtown Disney, as I imagine there are things to do at Disney Springs for people who want to celebrate Halloween but can't get a ticket into the park.
Mm-hmm.
Go head down to Downtown Disney and you can buy your treats and your merch. And
I saw the decor on Monday. It's cute.
Yeah, nice.
They're getting a lot of mileage out of Night on Bald Mountain and the Sorcerer's Apprentice. They're going heavy with that music, just like all the time. And then they're playing some other kind of Halloween stuff that I didn't really recognize. But it looks pretty fun, and it's brighter colors than normal. They've gone crazy with
the
colors.
tickets for Christmas at Disney are already sold out.
Oh, are they? I was on the page. I thought it said I could buy them.
Oh, well, that was according to someone. Who said that? Allison Lockhart said that.
Oh, well, she could be right.
Yes, she usually is in the know on those things. Mm-hmm. Jessica takes over Cartoon Spin.
This is really interesting. So somebody noticed that Jessica had been removed from a section of the Cartoon Spin where Benny and Roger were spinning in dip. She was being forced into a trunk by a weasel.
Yeah.
And that part where she's been forced into the trunk has been removed, and they've replaced the contents of the trunk with a bunch of dip barrels. And this comes just ahead of the news that they're going to retheme the entire ride, where Jessica is supposed to be a detective who is tracking down, I don't know, maybe Roger or something else in Toontown. So they're kind of flipping it, where she has, for the most part in the ride, she only appears a couple times, but for the most part in the ride, she's been the damsel in distress. I think at the end she's got a mallet. She took out a couple of weasels, but they're going to kind of flip that one around, and I expect we'll see a lot of Jessica in a trench coat.
Yeah, pretty much.
As the lead of this ride, which has been around for a long time. They haven't really messed with it so much over the time that it's been installed, and so it's an okay change. The usual people are complaining about Disney being woke, but I mean honestly, this just looks like they're doing something new with the ride that's gotten pretty stale.
I think I'll wait until the ride comes out done and go on it before I say, hey, this is this way or that way, because with Pirates I was rather leery of a lot of the changes they were making, and then of course when I finally went on the ride I'm like, oh, okay, this is fine. I'm still not real fond of some of the changes they did in the Haunted Mansion, not the Nightmare stuff, but just like some of the additions they put in originally. But I'm gonna hold back and say what I think of this for now, because it's really, I don't know.
Honestly, Toontown is not a place that I go. I figure it's aimed more at kids.
Yeah.
They've got Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. That's going to be a big deal anyway.
Yeah.
This is like small potatoes in the grand scheme of things for trying to revitalize an area of the park that, like I said, has gotten really, really stale.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how it is.
Yeah.
And I'll wait till the ride comes out before I pass judgment on it. But it's there. Conceptually, it seems okay.
Yeah.
I can see Jessica as a detective taking over for Eddie.
Yeah.
Whatever
works.
works.
See.
Yeah.
Just to jump in here really quick, I am able to go on the Disney Marius Nights site and to add tickets to the cart.
Oh, okay.
There are plenty of dates that seem to still have available.
Yeah. Maybe there's just one date that
they're charging too much.
That was full.
Yeah. The 11th, the 16th, and the 30th of November all have tickets available. Anything in December and January is sold out.
January. They had January ones?
The calendar seems to go that high.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's wacky because that means they have more than 5 days.
Well, no. I think what it means is that their calendar just keeps going because they didn't bother to put a stop on it.
I
But
see.
of
what happened to
5
the
days,
calendar?
there
I
are
just-
3 days
The document I just
that are good. So like, if they were doing the 2nd, the 11th, the 16th, the 25th, and the 30th, there are a few days that are full. But there are still 3 days for which you can buy tickets. Although if you want to go on the 11th, which is a Thursday, you can only get $175 tickets.
Wow.
Yeah. And then parking is extra, of course, at $25 each.
Okay, just so nobody changes it back, I just moved some stuff in the document tabbed it in to set it off from the stuff that's more important to talk about.
Okay.
So Disney has changed up the boarding groups process.
At
For
Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
no, in California
California.
too. It says that it has changed it up for Rise of the Resistance at both Disneyland and Disney World, and Web Slingers at California Adventure.
Mm.
And
I had only heard it was at Walt Disney World in what I read.
it says that you can get a virtual queue an hour before the ride. An hour before. It says, to make it easier, guests can now confirm their party up to 1 hour before boarding groups open.
Huh?
I thought you confirmed your party when you
You confirmed
started
your
the
party
day.
before you made your reservation. You chose who you wanted. You made your reservation. You
But
could
there's a
remove
picture
people if you
here.
wanted.
There's a picture here that says it's like a picture of making your reservation for Web Slingers.
Sure.
It says Web Slingers, a
Let's see
Spider-Man
what it is.
adventure, and it says confirm your party.
That sounds like almost. Oh,
That's-
is it before you make the
I
reservation? 'Cause
thought
Yeah.
that
that
sounds similar to
was
what
just
you do.
normal. So
Yeah, because you can do it at 7 a.m.
yeah, and
I
that's
don't
what
know.
this says. You can make it at 7
Okay,
a.m.
that's great.
That's how
There's
I do
nothing
it.
Well,
that-
then I
doesn't
don't
really-
understand this
I don't know.
article.
This news is not really news. I
Yeah, I
thought
don't
Right.
think it's
this
news
was-
either. Now, what is news is that apparently at the end of September, like the 23rd or something, they're gonna start making a standby line for Rise of the Resistance in Walt
Finally.
Disney World.
Yes.
That's not in Disneyland yet, but Walt Disney World, you're going to be able to just like walk up and wait in line.
Yep.
And that's what I thought you were talking about,
Yeah, me too.
because
Yep.
that's actually kind of serious.
Is that in anticipation of the Fast Pass system they're implementing?
I don't think so, because I'm not sure how that applies to Walt Disney World. The Genie Plus system you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to differ. Walt Disney World's always got something a little bit different than we do. And, like they still have annual passes where
Yeah.
we have the magic key thing, and there's all sorts of weirdness going on. So I don't know if that really plays into the Genie Plus thing. It may.
Hmm.
It would make
So do we-
sense.
Do
but-
we know what the
Yeah.
difference is between virtual queue and traditional standby queue is?
No reservation needed.
It just, you go and stand in
You
line,
go and you wait in line like
just
normal.
like a regular ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's because people have been whining about the virtual queue thing
Mhm.
and getting a reservation and doing whatever.
Yeah.
So
That
it looks
bites.
like I don't know if you can do both. There's a lightning lane.
It
that's
just
being
says they
put
will
in.
not be used. Boarding groups will not be used after the 23rd in Florida. So,
See, the lightning lane is definitely for Disney Genie.
But it also
Yeah.
says it's noted that virtual queue may be used at the attraction in the future or from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, if they have an incredible crowd.
yeah,
then-
that's
So
probably why.
I think what this article is saying is that for now, they're going back to a regular line,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and if they feel like it, they'll change back to a virtual queue.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't take
the
much.
article. I have a problem with the way Walt Disney World News Today writes their articles. They're kind of a little clickbaity and really
And confusing.
they don't give you all the information they need to give you.
Yeah,
So
this is
until I
true.
get something from like a real news source, I'm just gonna kind of take this.
Kit says that
That's
there
right.
have been lightning lane signs at Walt Disney World for about 2 weeks.
Yeah, but they're not using them as
Yeah.
the Genie Plus Lightning Lane thing yet. So
Do you think they're going to guinea pig what they do in Hollywood studios to see if they'll do that here with Rise?
Probably. I mean, there's
let's
a lot less of attendance over in Florida as far as impacted stuff goes. We get way more impacted at Disneyland than they do because they got more space. So it'll be interesting to see.
Don't know.
Let's move on to trailers. There's more Disney or more theme park stuff, but we can come back to that as part of.
Sure.
Oh, sorry, there was one more thing I wanted to talk about. There's a new restaurant that they're building at Walt Disney World called Space 220, and it's actually 220 feet in the air.
I thought you were about to say $220.
Well, it's probably
Well, that
too, but
but that's higher than anything at Disneyland is at all.
right, and it's probably just about the highest thing in Walt Disney World, period.
Yeah, that's higher than
and it's
average.
not attractive to look at.
Well, and the thing that they're doing, it's essentially what we talked about with the Matterhorn earlier, where the Matterhorn is like 1/10 of the real size of the Matterhorn. This is supposed to blast you 220 miles above the Earth, which so when you look out the window of the orbiting restaurant, you see space, and the curve of the Earth and all that kind of stuff, like you were in a restaurant in orbit around the planet. But the elevator only takes you up 220 feet.
Okay, but if you can't see out of the elevator and you only see like the space view, what the heck is the point of actually being 220 feet in the air?
Well, you have that travel as you go up. You feel like you're going somewhere, and that's part of the thing. And I'm sure to look at it from the ground and go, wow, look at that big thing. That looks like fun. Let's go do that.
I don't know. Unless they make it prettier than it is, it doesn't look fun at all.
If they just put you on the ground level and went, hey guys, you're eating in space.
You know what? I think the image that I'm seeing here is the image of the elevator, and not the restaurant.
No, you see the door in the side of the elevator with two little lights at the top?
I see.
That's the elevator.
I'm surprised.
I thought that was the restaurant.
I think there's an elevator on either side of one stalk.
Right.
That is going to rise you up.
I'm surprised they made a building this high in Disney World, at least in the parks, because they try to limit anything being below 200 feet.
Yeah, so they don't have to put the lights on it and everything.
But this doesn't matter because it's a big, giant, tall thing. It's not. They're not trying to do anything with scale. As long as it's not near anything that it's going to dwarf.
Oh, that's interesting.
That could be a problem, but they don't have. It's not like the Tower of Terror where they need to make it look like it's higher than it is.
Yeah, is it not near the ball? It's in Epcot, right?
Yeah, it's in Epcot. It was originally supposed to open in February. It's interesting because the restaurant is run by the Patina Group.
Oh, is it?
So, which I thought was only in LA. So it's odd that.
Well, maybe they're just branching out. Maybe they have a deal. But there are no pictures yet that I can find, and you may.
Oh my gosh.
You may find differently. I can't find any.
Patina Group is way bigger than I thought it was.
Oh. I can't find any pictures of the outside of the restaurant.
They didn't post any in that article.
Yeah, and I'm looking. I have a map in front of me. But I don't see where it is on the map. So maybe it's in Future World West. No idea.
I had no idea that all of these restaurants were the Patina Group.
Well, there you go.
Wow. So I've eaten at the Patina Group at locations that don't appear to be open anymore in Los Angeles, even though there are a ton of Los Angeles that are still there. But they have these in a lot of the museums in the area. But Taqueria, Napolini Pizzeria, Tortilla Joe's, Uva Bar and Cafe, Naples Ristorante e Bar, and Catal are all Patina Group.
So basically they just own downtown Disney.
Right. Well, and then in Disney World, they've got Space 220. Mm-hmm. They've got Tutto Italia Ristorante, Via Napoli Ristorante, Tutto Gusto. And then they've got locations in... Oh, sorry, that's in the park. And then in Disney Springs, they've got Enzo's, Maria and Enzo's, Pizza Ponte, Morimoto Asia, and the Edison.
Where is this?
So they own the Italian pavilion.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Space 220, and it looks like it's next to some sort of mission space looking thing.
Oh, could be.
It'll sit in a space behind and between mission space and test track. So it's not even by the ball.
Okay.
It's there's a model here, and it's like right behind mission space.
Well, it makes sense to be over there then.
Yeah, and so there's like a rocket that's part of mission space that's like flying off of it, and it is the same height as the rocket in the art that I'm looking at.
So I take it back. I ate at one of these Patina Group restaurants 2 weeks ago.
There you go.
The kitchen at Descanso Gardens.
Yeah. Surprise.
Yeah. Surprise. Anyway, moving back on to trailers.
Yep.
He-Man, Netflix,
Yeah.
9/16. There was a sneak peek, and Shawn said to the rest of us, "Hey, He-Man looks really funny." And I clicked on the link that he put, and I watched part of it, and I went, "Ha ha, that's not He-Man."
Yes. Yes, it
And then I watched a little bit more, and I'm like, "Oh my God, that wasn't a joke.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
really
He-Man
He-Man."
has been run through the filter of anime and Dragon Ball and
Yeah.
Pokemon, and it's just, I don't know, man. I'm not on board for this. It looks really weird. I mean, on one hand, he's a super uber dweeby kid
Yeah.
who turns into a massively powerful dude,
Yeah, hulking blonde-haired dude.
which is like Space Ace. Didn't I see this? Wasn't that
Yeah.
the Space Ace video game?
Pretty much.
It's almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
And then he gets all sorts of crazy powers where he
Mhm.
can call on lightning, he can do whatever.
Why
And
have
honestly,
power?
where the original He-Man was meant to sell toys, this one looks like it's there to sell video games.
Could be, yeah.
It's
Oh.
like that's really what it looks like to me. It's
Yeah.
like, oh well, let's move on from action figures. Let's do video games. We'll sell a video game because all of his powers completely look like Mortal Kombat style power-ups.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I know that we got the other one from Kevin Smith, which was a little more traditional looking,
Yeah.
but people were upset because it told a very different kind of story. This one looks
Yeah.
like the story is going to be much more like the original He-Man cartoon series, but they have completely overhauled the look and action of it. You
It
may
looks-
like it, you
yeah.
may hate it. Make up your own mind.
Far more, looks
I don't
like
know
it's
yet.
far more comedic as well, so.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, he's doing the greatest American hero thing where he's like, I have a sword and I don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Okay, Netflix also has Bright Samurai Soul
Mhm.
coming out on October 12th and The Forgotten Battle coming out on October 15th.
Yes.
Can we get to the good trailer now?
Sure.
Okay. Disney Plus announced Hawkeye series coming out on November 24th, and oh my gosh, was this trailer fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
They are making no bones about the fact that it is a holiday series,
Yeah,
which is funny because it has a certain amount in common with Die Hard,
it does.
which everybody always argues whether it's a Christmas movie or not. There's some great dialogue in there. There's some good comedic moments. There's some serious stuff. And a couple little Easter eggs, too, like Rogers the Musical. And because it's a limited series on Netflix, I hope they show us a lot of Rogers the Musical.
That would be
It's-
great.
It's
Yeah.
about Captain
Yeah.
America. I totally
It had
wanna
that
see
poster on
Yeah.
the side that looked like it was Hamilton-esque.
I know, right?
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
it's supposed
totally.
to be like Broadway, and the
Yeah.
thing that's really interesting is that we are seeing Hawkeye and his family in
Oh.
New York. And
I figured out why they were in New York and why his wife isn't in it.
okay,
What their reasoning is. Because he took his kids for a Christmas trip to New York to see the play,
oh,
and his wife wasn't able to join them.
I see.
So it's not like his wife is out of the picture or anything.
All right.
I was a little nervous about that.
Yeah, well, if they kill off Linda Cardellini, they'll be super mad.
Don't kill off Linda Cardellini.
Right.
Like-
Well, there's a comic book series that they did, and I'm like, don't
Oh.
do that, please.
Oh, well, whatever. Don't, whatever.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be really great.
Watch the trailer because it's really good.
And it seems to be some an advance in time, which is commensurate with the age of our actors. It looks pretty good. So we'll see.
West Side Story had another trailer out. It was as good as all the other ones.
West Side Story. Right.
It comes out on December 10th.
Is it the same one that we saw in the movie theater, or was it different?
Oh gosh, it might have been the same one. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
it was hard because someone kept talking to me while I was watching the trailer, and I didn't have time to go back.
Colleen and I saw the trailer in front of Shang-Chi.
Man.
It was in 3D, which weirded us out. Not sure I need to see West Side Story in 3D.
Yeah.
It was okay.
My mom is super excited for this to come out.
Well, your mom loves
So
West Side Story.
it's her favorite favorite movie ever.
Right.
Let's come back to the video game for PS5 trailer.
While we're kind of talking, we mentioned Rogers the musical and stuff. One of the things I said we were going to talk about just a little bit, I wanted to bring up the fact that Back to the Future, the musical, has opened in the West End of London.
Yeah.
It's been going on for a really long time. They've been trying to get this thing underway for quite a while. And so they had this opening on Tuesday with Chris Lloyd, who came to it. Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis went to it.
Nice.
And Alan Silvestri went, who actually worked on the music for the show as well as doing the soundtrack to the Back to the Future films. And the thing that I really liked about it, there's this sort of local guy makes good. Roger Bart was playing Doc Brown, and the day that they were opening for the press, he was tested positive for COVID, and he had to bail out. And so his understudy, who's never had a lead part in 30 years, stepped into the part of Doc Brown and got to do it in front of Doc Brown, which was crazy. And so Mark Oxtoby apparently did a really good job, completely knocked it out of the park. And sad for Roger Bart, who had to bail out, because he looked like he was doing a pretty good job too. But anyway, it's dopey good fun. It's how deep do you expect a musical based on Back to the Future to be?
Hopefully better than Young Frankenstein.
Apparently it's really pretty great. And so the opening was a huge success. Everybody had a blast. Everybody got on stage, like Gale and Zemeckis and Chris Lloyd got on stage and had a dance party with the cast after.
Where is it playing, Sean? Is it in New York?
It is in the West End of London.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to say that the bummer part of not living in either London or New York is that a lot of times you'll see a play that got rave reviews when it comes to LA, and you're like, this is horrible. Yeah. Get me out of here right now. I don't think I can make it past the intermission because this play is so bad.
Yeah.
Like Titanic. And
which won Tony Awards.
Yeah. Oh, it was awful. And also, I mean, Young Frankenstein was just sort of okay. And I heard that it was really good when it was on Broadway.
Well, and that's the problem with seeing a touring company.
Yeah.
And, you get famous actors who are doing some roles.
Luckily, Hamilton wasn't that way. We saw the touring of Hamilton, and it was really good.
And it was tremendous.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
And also...
And it's back, right now.
Wait, it is?
Hamilton?
Yeah, it is.
Back
oh,
yeah.
The tickets are probably all gone.
You can still get them. Just
you can
not
try.
for soon.
Yeah. Fun Home, the play we took my mom to see, was the acting in that was really good.
It was really great.
Yeah.
It was really good. Well, and so this guy who played Doc Brown, who was the understudy, usually plays Mr. Strickland and does fill-in for other roles.
Oh, okay.
And so he got to be the lead that night, which was
nice.
We can talk a little bit more, but since we're kind of at the top of the hour here, let me jump in and say that you are listening to sci-fi.radio. This is Docking Bay 94. I am Sean Crosby.
I'm calling Kaylee Crosby.
This is Jeff Soledano.
Josh Flatboy Critelli.
And thanks for hanging out for 2 hours.
Great.
I'm just kind of doing this for the wrap-up for the replay because they're going to cut us off at the top of the hour for the recording. We can talk about a few more topics when we're done. Big thanks to Kit Sovine for doing all of our cool links and stuff. I'm grateful for that. And also Chris Cosmo Moose Medway did our theme. And you guys are our listeners. We're very, very thankful to have all of you tuning in every week as you do. So thanks so much for that. Thanks for hanging with us. And we appreciate it. As always,
May the Force be with you.
Okay, we can go back to talk about stuff. Neither of us.
If they have Hamilton out here, I want to see In the Heights. That they should bring that back out here.
Hamilton, you can get tickets for tomorrow.
How much are they?
Wow.
Tomorrow 8 o'clock. Let's just get one ticket because the cheapest you can get is $56 for one ticket.
It's not
Not
horrible.
awful.
Yeah,
I thought it'd
that's
be more.
in the mezzanine left.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Hamilton again. It was really good.
Yeah.
Is that
Although there's also the part of me that's like, I could spend that money on a new show.
Is that at Pantasia's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is where we saw it at. I think they were set to reopen when COVID hit, and I think they just put the entire show on hold and redid it. They also are doing the lottery where you can get like $10 tickets or whatever. If you were magically chosen. They're still doing all the same kind of stuff that they did before, I think.
Okay.
What?
Which is
Okay,
cool.
so like you can see it on Friday for $56.
Sure.
If you wait until October on a Tuesday, it's $91.
That's weird. Is the seat significantly better?
Oh, maybe? No, mezzanine left. It's the same.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Well, I know that there's a friend of mine listening right now, and if you want to go see Hamilton, you know where to call. We got 2 tickets.
Back in a moment.
But yeah, I think that I think it's worth seeing multiple times. If you've never seen it, seeing
Yeah,
it in
I haven't
person
seen it on
is
stage.
pretty great. They're very consistent about the people they select to take over for their actors, and so like even though we didn't see it with Lin-Manuel Miranda, we didn't feel slighted. It wasn't like a big disappointment. Where like Phantom of the Opera was a huge deal. Where if you didn't see it with a name character. You didn't always get the best performance out of the Phantom, and Phantom has a very fine line between being like stalkery romantic and being disturbingly creepy. And we ended up with a disturbingly creepy guy.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't very sympathetic, and you didn't come out of there going like, wow, what a tragic romance. You came out of there going, oh God, somebody should have put him down. It was like really terrible.
I've only had the chance to see Phantom once on stage, but I was very pleased with the performance that I got to see. See, I'm definitely not...
I was excited for Colleen to see it because I had seen it with Michael
It was
Crawford.
not good.
Oh.
And she was like, no. Colleen was like ready to start drawing on the bald guy's head in front of us with a Sharpie because that
Yeah.
was more entertaining.
Well,
That's
and
too
also it was a movie about a play about a stalker. It was
Yeah,
very
he wasn't
weird.
sympathetic at all.
Yeah. On a Wednesday in October,
Uh-huh.
you can see Hamilton Orchestra Center. 2 tickets for for $134
Each or
each.
all together?
Yeah,
Well,
each.
Samantha, give me a call.
That's not
I know
bad.
you're listening.
Yeah.
Cool. That's pretty
Have you
good.
2 had the chance to see In the Heights when it was out here?
No.
We haven't seen In the Heights.
We
No,
didn't
I
see the
take that
recording
back.
either.
I saw the recorded play. No, that was Rent. So no, I have not seen In the Heights. I just listened to the music.
Oh,
when
so you know the music.
Yeah, I know the music.
And that's when I would... If that I ever saw a performance of that being anywhere, I'd be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah, well, the movie's going to come out soon, right? Or did it already come out?
It came out in theaters.
You
I've
asked
seen the
me
film.
if I had seen it, so
Yeah.
clearly it came out.
It is coming back soon on HBO. Yeah, I've seen the movie.
Really interesting that
love to
it's
see
not going to Disney.
I feel like I have it as a film, but we haven't watched it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
People want you to talk. They've even asked several times to talk about your Ghostbusters pack.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like
Because it's
oh,
yeah,
sorry.
it's no. They've just asked in the chat.
Oh, okay.
But it's showing you hung it up,
Yes.
and it's really showing tonight.
Yeah, it
so.
is. We kind of have a wide angle over there. So the Ghostbusters pack is one that I built for like a steampunk thing. The one that Carol Merrill is showing us. And it was a I wanted to do something steampunk, but I wanted to do something kind of different because a lot of people were doing like airship mechanics and stuff, but steampunk wasn't like steampunk the way it was. I think I built that in 2006 and wore it to San Diego Comic-Con, and I was like one Ghostbuster walking around, and then the next year I met another Ghostbuster, and then the next year I met the League of Steam who were doing Ghostbusters, and so we had like a foursome of Ghostbusters walking around the show floor. It was pretty fun. But everything on the pack is made out of junk the way my car is. It's the same kind of philosophy. So the very top boxes up at the very top, there's 3 of them. Those are junction boxes that you put light switches in. You usually mount them inside your wall. The bottom part is made of Nerf parts. It has a lightning disc in the middle, so it lights up with lightning and stuff, which is really cool. There's all sorts of stuff going on in that thing that I tried to make it as easily recognizable as a Ghostbusters Proton Pack, but still be very steampunky. So it's a pretty good thing. I have to do some work on it because there's a steampunk convention I think that we're going to that wants it on display, and I think I'm supposed to be on a panel regarding its construction with some other folks. So, but yeah, it's my sort of go-to steampunk costume, and the rest of the costume I did as a thing where I feel that the way the Ghostbusters are in the movie, and they reference this, that they're like exterminators, they're like rat catchers. It's kind of a weird thing, and so I thought what I would do is make sure that it was as rat catchery as possible. And so just to kind of give you a quick look here, it's got the lightning thing down at the bottom. I've got other lights that I have on it now that you can't see. The gun stick is a light from IKEA that a friend of mine gave me to do. And the rest of the clothes just make me look like that kind of rat catcher, sort of grubby, dirty kind of thing. And but the pack itself came out really well. This was another guy who had also done a Steampunk Ghostbusters pack. He took a more military approach than I did. And at one point, Colleen and I went to the Biltmore Hotel, which was the Sedgwick Hotel in Ghostbusters in the film. That was me doing a class demonstrating it. Let's see if I can find that real quick. There we go. So this is inside the
Look at baby Shawn.
Sedgwick Hotel. This is what used to be the ballroom. So this was the ballroom they shot at. The whoa, nice shooting, Tex ballroom. And now they have turned it into their lobby instead. So that ceiling, if you watch the movie, you see that ceiling very prominent in the film.
Yeah.
And then I went up on the roof because I'm crazy like that. Shot some cool pictures up on the roof and did whatever. So yeah, I'm very fond of the costume. It needs a little work and a little bit of renovation because it's old. It's like, what, 17 years old or something. It's time to fix it. But anyway, thanks for asking. I hope I answered your questions. So, got that going for you.
So I take it we're gonna go into overtime. What does that look like, Jeff? You need to get home.
Yeah, I have to go home and sleep.
All right. Well, let's.
We can totally wrap. It's not a problem. I don't see anything really crazy.
I want to talk about the Met Gala, but I could talk about that next week.
I think we should talk about it next week when you have a chance to look at all the costumes in depth. I did want to mention before we go, though, usually we do a sort of a rest in peace thing for people who we lost this week. We lost Norm Macdonald. He was a comedian going back to the mid-1980s. Very dry delivery. You probably know him from Saturday Night Live and Weekend Update. And a lot of great characters that he did. He was very frequently and did a really terrific Burt Reynolds on the show.
That's not his name.
What?
It's Turd Ferguson. He always would say that. He'd say
Oh,
Burt Reynolds.
okay. I'm
That's not my
sorry.
name.
No, it's Burt Reynolds. That's
No, I
really
was
his
doing
name.
his little bit there.
Got it. Sorry, confused me.
Sorry,
Anyway,
Sean.
he did a lot of writing for shows, and most recently you probably saw him as Yaphet on the Orville. He was the little green snot alien that kept hitting on the Doctor all the time. And so that's probably the last really sort of big thing that he did. But he was crazy. He always committed to his comedy. He always really went for it. And I haven't found anybody to say a bad word about him. And a lot of people all over Facebook and Twitter are certainly giving him big marks for a great career. He passed away as the result of a battle with cancer that he's been fighting for 10 years that he didn't really tell anybody about. I assume he let his family know, but nobody else really knew because he wanted to make sure everybody remembered him as the comedian, as the funny guy. You can go on YouTube, do a search for Norm Macdonald, and fall down that rabbit hole because he's got just all sorts of stuff. He was, I think, number 25 on the list of 100 greatest stand-ups of all time from Comedy Central. He was even Colonel Sanders for a while. So yeah, I mean, he's just had this really crazy, great career. Really sad that he passed away. And I got to meet a lot of really great comedians through a job that I had at a radio station that was all comedy format. And sadly, Norm Macdonald, who was mostly centered in Canada, never made it down here. He would have been a great guy to talk to. Would have been really, really interesting. But 61 is pretty young.
What did you say? The last thing you said about never making it down here? But
when I was working at the radio station,
he
never made it down there for us to interview because he was a Canadian comedian.
Okay.
And so I was sad that I never got that opportunity.
I thought you were saying he never came to Hollywood.
Nope.
I'm like,
Not what I said at all.
Sorry, misheard you entirely, because he worked with House of Moves.
Yeah, I know. And I shot stuff to be inserted into that video.
Right, the video that was never finished.
Yes, I never got to do it. I spent days
Right.
outside in my car doing stuff.
So, did you get to meet him?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't really remember anything particular about. I didn't spend any quality time with him, but he was on our stages, so
Nice.
I probably met him very briefly.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, they did a whole day. I can show you the video when we're done here.
Okay.
Yeah, and it looked like it was going to be kind of an interesting video, and I was very excited to have shot something that was going to be part of it, but it never happened. So
Yeah, it was too bad.
very sad. C'est la guerre.
Look there.
Thank you. I guess that's it. I think we should let Jeff go home,
Yeah.
and
Poor Jeff.
he can caravan with
Josh?
Josh.
Yeah.
and,
Go in the same direction.
Anyway, let me give you our crazy credits screen over here. Man, I'm just all disheveled over here. My date's all shoved up into the corner. In fact, it doesn't even have the whole date. What the heck? Why doesn't it have the whole date up there? I tell you, it's really just been one of those days. It's just been crazy. But, I don't know. We'll see. I mentioned Cosmo Moose before. Chris Medway, who did our thing. Kit has been doing all of our really super cool links and things like that. And the rest of us, you know us. Colleen, Jeff, Shawn.
Good night, Colleen, Jeff,
Josh.
Shawn.
Good
Josh.
night.
Good night, everybody. We will see all y'all later. I'm going to pop on over to the radio show. Bye, everybody listening to us on the radio.
Bye.
Bye.
On my sci-fi
And
radio.
bye, everybody over on the
Twitch.
Twitch stuff. See you later, alligator.